कृपया करके अपने मोबाइल फोन्स को साइलेंट मोड में रखें ताकि आप पूरे तौर तरीके से इस कार्यशाला की ओर फोकस कर सकें। नमस्कार। झीलों की नगरी उदयपुर, महाराणा प्रताप की धरती उदयपुर और उसके भारतीय प्रबंध संस्थान के सभागार से मैं चंदन सेन, अतिरिक्त राज्य सूचना अधिकारी NIC राजस्थान, NIC की ओर से हमारे राज्य संयोजक श्री प्रशांत कुमार मित्तल जी, राज्य सूचना अधिकारी और उप महानिदेशक डॉक्टर P गायत्री और हमारे संपूर्ण टीम की तरफ से आप सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत और अभिनंदन करते हैं। ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण कार्यशाला है AI फॉर इफेक्टिव गवर्नेंस, यानी कि अप्राकृतिक बुद्धिमत्ता प्रभावी शासन के लिए या असरदार शासन के लिए। जैसा कि आप सभी को विदित है कि उदयपुर पर्यटन स्थली है, माइनिंग के लिए बहुत प्रख्यात है और झीलों के लिए बहुत खूबसूरत जगह है और मैरिज डेस्टिनेशन। तो मैं अपेक्षा करूंगा कि हमारे जो आज के गणमान्य स्पीकर्स हैं इन क्षेत्रों पर भी अपने विचार रखेंगे। ये कार्यक्रम हम राष्ट्रीय सूचना विज्ञान केंद्र, इलेक्ट्रॉनिकी और सूचना प्रौद्योगिकी मंत्रालय, भारत सरकार की तरफ से आयोजित कर रहे हैं। इसमें हमारा सहयोग किया है राजस्थान स्टेट माइंस एंड मिनरल्स लिमिटेड, राजकॉम इंफो सर्विसेज लिमिटेड, उदयपुर डेवलपमेंट अथॉरिटी और मिक्सी ने। हम आप सभी के बहुत बहुत आभारी हैं। तो कार्यक्रम की शुरुआत के लिए मैं हमारे बीच में पधारे हमारे आगंतुक मैडम शर्मिष्ठा दासगुप्ता, डॉक्टर N पाधी, श्रीमान प्रशांत कुमार मित्तल जी, हमारे राज्य सूचना अधिकारी और उप महानिदेशक डॉक्टर P गायत्री, श्री भरत गिदवानी जी, आप सभी से मैं आग्रह करूंगा कि द्वीप प्रज्वलन के लिए कृपया स्टेज पे बैठें।
हाँ,
वहाँ पे शुभम करोति कल्याणम आरोग्यम धन संपदा शत्रु बुद्धि विनाशाय दीप ज्योति नमस्ते। दीप ज्योति परब्रह्म, दीप ज्योति जनार्दन, दीपो भ्रातो ने पापम संध्या दीपो नमस्ते। अर्थात salutations to the light of the lamp that brings auspiciousness, well-being, good health, and abundance of wealth, and destroys the intellect's enemies, ignorance, negativity. Salutations to the light of the lamp, which is supreme reality, Brahma, and the remover of sins, Janardhan Vishnu. May the lamp's light remove my sins.
एक सेकेंड
आप सभी आगंतुकों का बहुत बहुत आभार। हम आपको ये भी बताना चाहेंगे कि हमारा आज का ये कार्यक्रम, ये जो कार्यशाला है, ये एक प्री इवेंट है इम्पैक्ट AI 2026, जो कि फरवरी माह में आयोजित होगा उसी श्रृंखला में। और एक प्री इवेंट के रूप में हमने इस कार्यक्रम में एकेडेमिया से लेकर, इंडस्ट्री से लेकर, साइंटिस्ट से लेकर विभागों को आमंत्रित किया है कि वो आए अपनी बात प्रस्तुत करें और साथ ही साथ वो सुने कि किस तरह से एआई प्रगति कर रही है और किस तरह से एआई आगे बढ़ रही है। Artificial intelligence stands at the threshold of fundamentally reshaping human civilization, pushing the boundaries of what we can achieve. The technological revolution opens unprecedented opportunities for advancements across every domain of human endeavor, while profoundly challenging the very foundations of society in an increasingly complex and evolving geopolitical order. For developing countries, artificial intelligence offers pathways. The multimodal and the multilingual capabilities of AI create new possibilities through which access to benefits can be made available at scale. As a result, AI is seen not merely as a technological advancement, but as a strategic tool to enable inclusive growth and expand access to opportunities that have historically been out of reach for large-scale segments of the population. Recognizing this transformative potential, the past 4 years have witnessed a remarkable surge in multilateral initiatives dedicated to harnessing AI's potential responsibly and equitably. From the G20 AI principles to the UN and Global Partnerships on AI, GPAI, resolutions on AI, the African Declaration on AI, and most recently, the Hamburg Declaration on Responsible AI, these efforts reflect unprecedented international recognition that AI's transformative impact transcends borders and requires coordinated global action. Despite this high-level commitment, the fundamental gap persists between global aspirations and the reality on the ground. The global AI divide continues to widen, with AI resources and capabilities concentrated among select nations and corporations. This concentration fundamentally limits the development of social, cultural, and linguistically contextual AI solutions, considering AI's potential to accelerate progress towards our collective development goals, especially for global south. Simultaneously, AI's rapid proliferation across society is creating new challenges that demand urgent attention, disrupting traditional employment patterns, exacerbating existing biases, and driving exponential increase in energy consumption, which will be discovered very soon. These developments underscore the urgent need to move beyond aspirational frameworks towards concrete, measurable impact that addresses both AI's promise and its perils. A time for impact. The India AI Impact Summit 2026, announced by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narayana Modi ji at the France AI Action Summit and scheduled for February 1920 in New Delhi, will be the first ever global AI summit hosted in the global south. Building on the momentum of leading international forums such as the UKI Safety Summit, the AI Seoul Summit, the France AI Action Summit, and the Global AI Summit on Africa, the high-level convening marks a critical inflection point. It will strengthen existing multilateral initiatives while advancing new priorities, deliverables, and cooperative frameworks, moving from high-level political statements to demonstrable impact and tangible progress in global AI cooperation. The summit charts urgent challenges disrupting traditional employment patterns, exacerbating biases, and accelerating energy consumption. Ladies and gentlemen, before we come to our first presentation, I would like to request Shri Vinod Jain Sahib to present plants with pots to our distinguished guests who have arrived here today. First of all, such a pot may be gifted to our Director of MNIT, Dr. N. Padhy ji. Madam SIO to kindly present the plant to Padhy.
इसको माइक को पकड़ के बुला नहीं सकते।
हमारे बीच में उपस्थित हैं श्री छोगाराम, धन्यवाद विनोद जी, इस तरह करिए। छोगाराम देवासी जी, अतिरिक्त संभागीय आयुक्त उदयपुर, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत और अभिनंदन श्रीमान। हमारे बीच में उपस्थित हैं श्री हेमेंद्र नागर साहब, आप सचिव हैं अर्बन उदयपुर डेवलपमेंट अथॉरिटी के, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत और अभिनंदन यहाँ पे पधारने के लिए। हमारे बीच में उपस्थित हैं श्री भरत गिदवानी जी, आप NVIDIA से हैं और बहुत दूर से चल के हमारे बीच में आज उपस्थित हुए हैं, आपका बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन, बहुत बहुत स्वागत। हुसैन जी, हमारे बीच में मैडम शर्मिष्ठा दासगुप्ता जी हैं, जो कि हमारे DDG हैं और AI डिवीजन की हेड हैं, आपको पॉज कृपया भेंट करें। इसी श्रृंखला में हमने हमारे बीच अभी तक उपस्थित समस्त जो हमारे आयुक्त हैं, एक नाम उदयपुर जी, नजर जी, सबका नाम बताओ थोड़ा, सब हो गए? दे दिया ना, हेमंत जी को नहीं दे दिया। मित्तल साहब, हमारे जो घर के आदमी हैं प्रशांत जी, और हमारे राज्य संयोजक हैं, आपको कृपया विनोद जैन साहब भेंट करें। इस तरह से हम लोग अब उस मोड़ पे आ गए हैं जहां से हमारी पहली प्रस्तुति, हमारे बीच में आज मौजूद है बहुत ही प्रख्यात प्रोफेसर रिसर्चर, जिनका नाम है डॉक्टर NP पाठी साहब। डॉक्टर NP पाठी साहब किसी तारीफ या तारुफ के मोहताज नहीं है, इनके पास तमाम डिग्री, तमाम कॉलेज के एफिलिएशन और बहुत ही हमारे कम समय के हमारे आग्रह पे इन्होंने हमारा जो रिक्वेस्ट है उसको एक्सेप्ट किया। हम आपके बहुत बहुत आभारी हैं सर। और आज जो है, मैं इससे पहले की मेरा सौभाग्य है कि मैं इनके बारे में आपको कुछ जानकारी प्रदान करूं। डॉक्टर नारायण प्रसाद पाधी, डायरेक्टर MNIT एंड डायरेक्टर IT कोटा, चेयर प्रोफेसर IIT पलक्कड़, टेक्नोलॉजिकल हब फाउंडेशन IPTIF. He is a professor HND of Electrical Engineering and has served as Dean of Academic Affairs, IIT Roorkee, founder, head, Mehta Family School of Data Science and Artificial Intelligence, Professor in charge, Training and Placement, NIPCO, and Institute Chair Professor at IIT Roorkee. He received his graduation degree in Electrical Engineering in 1990, Master's Power System Engineering with distinction in 1993, and PhD College of Engineering, Gindi, Anna University, Chennai in 1997. He worked as an assistant professor at BITS, Pilani, India for a year, after which he joined the Department of Electrical Engineering, IIT Roorkee. As a lecturer in 1998, he was promoted to the position of full professor in 2008. He is a fellow of Indian National Academy of Engineers, the Institution of Engineering and Technology, Institution of Engineers, India FIE, Institution of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineers, India FIETE, the International Society for Energy, Environment and Sustainability Chair Selection Committee. इनकी इतनी लंबी सारी गाथाएं हैं, इनकी इतनी सारी खूबियां हैं कि हमारा जो है हमको हमारे पास समय का अभाव हो जाएगा कि हम इनकी पूरे बातों का वर्णन करने लगे। हम कुल मिला के तालियों के साथ इस महान शख्सियत का स्वागत करें और आपको आग्रह करें कि आप हमारे बीच में आकर स्टेज पर आज एक विशिष्ट विषय पर आप अपनी प्रस्तुति देंगे, और ये विषय है नेक्स्ट जनरेशन एनर्जी मैनेजमेंट फॉर स्केलिंग रिन्यूएबल थ्रू डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड स्टोरेज यूजिंग आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस। बहुत बहुत स्वागत है पाधी साहब, कृपया करके स्टेज पे।
morning. Am I audible loud and clear?
Yes.
All right, sir.
Mic.
But it is not visible. It's too big for you. I think be here. I'll see to that you walk. So first of all, thank you very much, Sanji, Gayatri ma'am, those who actually kind of motivated me to be in Udaipur and that too in IIM. This is my second visit, but truly it is first visit because very, very long back I once had been to this place. I liked it, and somehow or other, I mean, there are a lot of engagements, but I thought let me do not miss this opportunity to talk to the people of this country and specific to Rajasthan state. Because I'm not simply heading MNIT Jaipur and IIIT Kota, but I do carry a bit of responsibility to the state. And hence, it is my duty that whatever little I do, let us share with our colleagues and friends so that we all can take to the next level of understanding what is AI and how it is going to impact the future and the world. Now, very importantly, being a power system professional, energy professional, I thought of connecting AI to energy security, energy for all, and electricity for all. That is the main ambition. And then you can apply the same thing to water for all. You can connect the same thing, food for all. You can connect the same thing, economy for all, and everything is possible. So today we'll be talking about AI and its impact on energy sector in next future. So first of all, I have started working on artificial intelligence in the year 2005, which is almost 20 years old story. 2005, the first textbook on artificial intelligence appeared in this country, which is quite popular across the globe. So I do have the habit of writing something every day. So I do write actually a page or a half a page every day night before go to bed. And my font for artificial intelligence is almost a 30-year-old story. 2005, the first textbook came that I started working from 1995, which is almost 30 years old story. It took 10 years to come out with the first textbook on AI. I was very fond. And then when I started my career in IIT, Roorkee as a faculty, started working in the field of AI, when AI was not that popular. I still remember I have been discouraged by my colleagues and senior professors not to work on AI at that time. You all will be, very, very interesting thing. As an officer, you must know this. Yes. Oh yes, please. I'll be very comfortable. Yes. Hello? Is it okay? Audible? Excellent. So I'll be quite comfortable, just walk in and talk like a family interaction. So the moment you all feel little bored, just raise your hand, I'll stop my talk. So as I told you that, 1995 when we started working, we have been discouraged across the country that this is not an area that an electrical engineer must work. Electrical engineering means you must work on something hardware, the machine must be running, the transmission line or something, inverter, converter, one must work. Artificial intelligence is not an area that engineers are encouraged in this country. So I have to give up my actually field of expertise AI in 1997 and started shifting to a core hardware exploitation with my students and started teaching different courses. Because that is how actually we lost the important bust, important glory of this country being missed because of some sort of lack of 50 years plan what need to be done. So imagine, India had hundreds of wonderful scientists in this country in the field of AI, but they have never been actually encouraged to take AI to the next level. And now suddenly in 2025, we are talking about AI and the whole world actually got up. And perhaps the Western world is working on artificial intelligence for the last 100 years. And today they are making it a market and economy out of it. So, but nevertheless, it is not very late for India to wake up again. So we do not lack in potential, but we need to take it to the next level. So fortunately in 2015, the second textbook appeared. 2025, the third textbook on artificial intelligence appeared. So if you Google Amazon Soft, if you go to MP Padhy, artificial intelligence, you will find all the three popular textbooks. But nevertheless, I also do teach students actually in online platforms on energy sector. So NPTEL, there are 4 different courses and more than 1 lakh of students of this country do attend my class every day. So that is how actually my all introduction, basic introduction as a teacher. And Senji is very kind enough to talk about other credentials. Let us not get into that. To start with, I am a humble teacher and love to teach artificial intelligence and power engineering to this nation. Today, what is the biggest challenge before us? Why AI is important for energy? Do you know what is the installation capacity of this country? Very basic question. Do not agitate. Don't sigh off even if you don't know. Nothing wrong about it. What is the installation capacity of this country? Please, sir.
700 gigawatts.
Let us has already answered. So 500 gigawatt is the installation capacity of this country. Do you know what is the peak demand of energy of this country? Sir is saying it is more than that. Why? Because you don't get electricity, right? But you are unfortunately not very correct. Okay. Anyone? Any guess? What is the demand, energy demand of this country? Peak demand, especially. No clue? It is more than 500 or less than 500? Sir has said more than 500 because we do not get electricity. We do have energy cut during summer peaks. But the answer is not correct. Please note it down. I request everyone to have a pencil and pen, paper with you. Please write it down, thumb rule, not the exact value. It is close to actually 225 gigawatt. To make it more simple, I can say 250 gigawatt, just a thumb rule. So 500 gigawatt is the demand, installation capacity, and 250 gigawatt is the requirement. Is it not worrying? Even though the demand is 50% of its installation capacity, still 30 to 40% of Indians today do not celebrate Diwali due to unavailability of electricity, and I am very sure Rajasthan is not away from this challenge. Many people in Rajasthan may not be celebrating Diwali because they live in a dark night throughout the year. So is it not our responsibility to make sure that at least each and every Indian citizen of this country have access to electricity and celebrate a safe Diwali in a brighter night? So how do you know all these things? Because I do have the habit of watching the satellite picture of Indian map almost very frequently, but I do watch at least on the Diwali night for sure. Because if the Diwali night, the satellite image of India is not bright, then which day you expect that satellite image of India picture will be brighter? Even during Diwali night, 30 to 40% of India is still darker, even including the lights of the crackers. So when the crackers are not there, it may be around 45% dark. Are you getting my point? So you will see huge patches are completely dark even during Diwali night. That means India has to do lot to achieve Viksit Bharat 2047. Is not possible until unless you make India brighter, at least on Diwali night. So there are huge, very simple challenges before us. We need to address all these points to achieve the target of Viksit Bharat. It is a very good statement. But to achieve that, we need to work from today. So what are the challenges? Many people in this country do not have direct energy access because of its remoteness, because of its hill stations, because of connectivity, and hence renewable energy is going to be one of the best solutions for everyone to have energy access. But I have not answered my first question. The installation capacity is 500, the demand is 250, then why my fellow family friends are not having energy access? 500 and 250. Yeah, 500 gigawatt installation, 250 gigawatt is the requirement. Still, why each one of these countries do not have energy access? Yes, please. It is a problem of distribution. No.
Poor load factor, sir.
No. No.
Diversity.
No.
सर एक्सेसी प्रोवाइड किए हैं कई लोगों ने.
No. The 500 gigawatt installation is coming out of solar, is coming out of nuclear, is coming out of thermal, it is coming out of wind, and many more. Please try to understand today, most of the hydropower projects in this country are not operating with the desired efficiency. Means you had a plant of 50 gigawatt, but it is giving you 17 gigawatt today. So that 500 gigawatt figure, which is a big number, which is completely illusion. Thermal power plants are there, but it doesn't have coal to produce up to its maximum capacity. We have nuclear power plant, but do not have indigenous technology or not have enough materials to operate 365 days efficiently. Solar and wind are certainly intermittent. They are not giving you power 24 hours. So at 7 p.m., if I look at the peak of 250 or 225 gigawatt occurs at the evening peak at 7 p.m. And 7 p.m., you do not have full water, you do not have full thermal, you do not have full nuclear, you do not have solar, you do not have wind. All have little bit. So that 500 gigawatt is not effectively there when we need it. That means 7 p.m. could be 235, 245, 247, but it is known as peak energy deficit, and that deficit is close to 1 to 4%. I am very happy. In recent times, the peak energy deficit, which was close to 4% before a decade, but in recent time, it is as low as less than 1%. So that way we are growing, no doubt about it. We are putting a lot of energy. So now instead of 500 gigawatt, we have to make it 550. Instead of 500 megawatt, you have to put 550, so that instead of 235, I will achieve 255, and hence we become energy secure. I can have energy for everyone. Is the foundation set now? You understood what is the challenge today? So to make sure energy security for all, we need to increase the installation capacity furthermore. But I always say one word, that God is not kind to mankind. God is not kind to mankind. How many of you agree with this? Only one gentleman. He did not get promotion recently. Problem. Anybody else? I too say, God is not very kind to engineers. Do you agree with this? God is not kind to engineers. How many engineers in this room? No, God. For example, so why I'm saying the statement, it is my favorite statement. Probably I would have used this statement across the world for more than 1,000 times. And every auditorium, people have agreed that God has never been kind to engineers. The reason being, God has given you enough renewable energy, solar and wind, but when it is available to you, then you do not need it. God has given you energy only when you do not need it. And hence I say, God is not very kind to engineers. He could have given me at 7 p.m., then the whole Diwali problem, whole energy problem would have been addressed. So God has intentionally given you energy at 9 a.m. when we all are driving to office, and He has given you energy in the midnight when we all are sleeping. You all will be very happy to know the maximum peak energy of Rajasthan available to you during midnight. Across the world, the wind energy is peak during midnight. You might have gone to sea shores, because I belong to a coastal area of Odisha. I know that we have been advised not to go too near to the seashore during pre-midnight because the wind velocity is very huge. So the offshore wind power generation is maximum during midnight when we all are sleeping. Similarly, at the afternoon, 11 to 12 noon, the maximum solar is available to you, and that time also you do not need much of energy. So the biggest challenge is those energies are being available to me at the morning and midnight need to be transferred to when we need it. And that is why I say a lot of engineering is required to move that energy from the midnight and day to the evening. That's what, in a lighter note, I think God is very kind to engineers and everyone. But in that sense, I say God is not kind. Yeah. So that's what actually I always say, that actually God is not very kind to engineers because there are a lot of technology that need to be brought in. Okay? So, I mean, considering the time constraint, because being a teacher, you know, like we always have to, so probably I have been left out with how many minutes? 5 minutes, okay. So, what we do, we can take a little longer? Okay, all right. And the audience, if you feel, I can continue for little more, because I have just made the ground ready. Because teaching is one thing, but if you do not carry it forward for a long time, then there is no fun. So I thought you must understand the background before I talk about artificial intelligence. If your basics are not clear, you cannot catch up on AI. So what is the biggest challenge? The energy, those are being produced in pockets that need to be accumulated at a particular point and galvanized at the peak hour so that everyone will have access to electricity. So how do you do that? Please try to understand 140 crores people must get electricity, am I right? So very quickly, without wasting a lot of time, you all remember that there was a blackout experience happened in 2012, am I right? And that was the day I have decided that I will do something for this nation till I retire, am I right? With my last breath. So 2012, what has happened? We had enough solar power plants in this country. I was actually addressing in the United States on a forum where I said India is the only country which has never faced a blackout, and which was true. Even US experienced blackout before us. I came to the airport and I received a call from my colleague from Power Grid that India has experienced blackout today. I talked to my wife, are you having electricity access at home? She said no. Before departing from IIT Roorkee, we have installed close to 1.73 megawatt of rooftop solar in Roorkee campus. Then I said, even if we are not having a bulb available to us, having 1.73 megawatt of solar, the same scenario across the country. Please remember, none of the solar plant in this country will generate power without having the main grid operation. So if the main grid is out, all your renewable energy in the distribution system also will stop generating until unless there is a technology. The technology is, when the grid is non-operational, we have to switch from an integrated system to an off-grid operation. And that technology is not existing or not in good practice even today. Each and every PV panel that we put in this country are PV integrated. Am I right? So what we need to do, I think one thing you all are very clear, let us, due to sort of time, very quickly, this is what actually you could see. In 2047, we talk about Viksit Bharat. So what the Viksit Bharat is look to be, or looking to be in 2047, the yellow strip is very, very important. The yellow strip is the energy coming out of actually wind, as well as the grey one which is coming from your solar. These two are going to play a major role in 2047 because you will not have thermal power plants. Paris Agreement decided not to have any thermal power plants. Water, we will not have it for sure. Nuclear, I am doubtful. So this country, the demand is keep on increasing every day. But the installation capacity is not getting added every day because of certain challenges. The only way out is putting renewable energy. But those renewable energy that we are going to put is not giving me energy when I need it. So some AI technology to be brought in, which will encourage those addition of renewable energy and to be integrated to some extent, so that actually that can be used in a better way in a community level. So this is what actually the scale in which the renewable energies keep on increasing. And this graph is very, very clear. The pink color or the violet color that you see is the load characteristic. And when you keep on adding actually renewable energy, what will happen? Actually it will supersede the requirement of the day hours. So in the daytime the requirement is low. So in you are hurry, you are hungry. So what you will do, because you need energy, you will keep on putting wind and solar, wind and solar, wind and solar. So at a time you will have more of solar energy when you do not need it. But the evening peak, as you could see there, that is my requirement and I do not have energy. So this excess energy now need to be transferred. And this excess energy is coming across the country. So there are millions of data points that need to be captured, and those need to be pushed to this point through millions of storage devices. Are you getting my point? So those energy at millions of points need to be stored, and then that need to be dispersed to millions of points, and the energy which is coming from a location and going to a location are not same. And that is where optimization, data and artificial intelligence is going to play a major role in giving energy access to the world. Very, very important point. Now very quickly, so just, so this is, leave it. So this is what we try to do, and yes, this is how India looks today, and probably in 2025, now it is now almost being occupied, and 2047, we will not find a single rooftop which will be from solar. So sometimes we are targeting for 300 gigawatt solar integration. I may look slightly awkward in this auditorium. It is not that we are going towards renewable energy. It is mandatory for India to get into renewable energy for survival. All of you please try to understand. So we are not moving towards green energy, though for the world we can say we are moving towards green energy, but for the survival of this nation, we have to go for renewable energy. It's a very, very strong statement in front of all government officials of Rajasthan. Please try to understand, without renewable energy integration across the country, this country is not going to survive for sure. So it is a high time for all of us, given an opportunity, potential implementation policies from the policymakers towards huge renewable penetration is now mandatory. So with the last 15 minutes what I was talking about, it is not that we are very kind enough to make green energy. No. It is necessary for us to survive. It is necessary for us to have energy security.
Now very quickly what I wanted to highlight, so this is what actually we want. But now tell me, before we implement any sort of technology, what we need to do, we need to have, this is a very, very simple case study. So across the country, I'm bringing AI quickly to you. Now this is how the distribution system of Udaipur would look like, for example. I'm showing you IIM distribution network, but every distribution network of this country look like this. Could you find some batteries within it? How many batteries? 1, 2, I think five is the right answer. So this is basically to understand how serious you are, how attentive you are. Okay, so there are 5 batteries. And how many PV panels? There are many. Let us forget it. Am I right? So imagine this diagram actually I am extrapolating to the national level. So what will happen? This is a small distribution system of 5 megawatt system. So 5 megawatt system, I have 5 batteries. So if it is going to be 500 gigawatt, how many batteries you will have? Millions of batteries. Now for 5 megawatt system, I have 25 PV panels, rooftop. If it is 500 gigawatt, how many rooftop panels? Again millions. Now, the millions of energy produced at different off-grid and rooftop solar power need to be integrated with my distribution control center. And that energy must go to millions of actually storage. And as and when required, the storage has to be discharged in an optimal and efficient manner. Are you getting my point? Yes. I have this battery here in Udaipur. Not necessarily that IIM battery will cater IIM campus. No, it may be catering to some other campus. And some other campus solar power may be coming to IIM. So this data integration become a challenge. Today what we are doing, Indian power grid is very, very hungry. So whatever PV panel you put, it is being observed. But when you get into that excess that I have shown you, when you put more PV, when you put more wind, the excess energy become more and that need to be stored. In that case, you have to be careful in putting a single PV or wind in a distribution system, and you cannot do that without doing proper analysis of huge amount of data. And that data analytics will be only possible through AI. So this is how actually I like to connect you because this PPT is actually, I will request Senji to make it available to all the candidates to kind of understanding. We have done a thorough homework, how AI can be easily integrated to any distribution system as an example, as a case study, and we have done everything live basically. It's a control system. So one small example I like to say before I close this, I will take pardon for 2 to 3 minutes time because this is part of the problem. Now what we have done actually, we have tried to put PV panels in the rooftop of Electrical Engineering Department of IIT. And what is the rooftop solar? Is 700 kilowatt. And what is the requirement of the department? Is 111 kilowatt. So the shortage of energy must come from somewhere, either from the grid or from the battery. So we have put a battery of actually 200 kilowatt lithium ion. And this is almost a $500 million project, which is close to 5 crore, given by actually every industry. And because they are collaborating with us. So this today, we have created a smart grid environment as a R&D. Probably this will go to the national level very soon. We collected all the data of the department level and simulated what would be the time and how this energy need to be distributed and to be collected. Is it okay? So now please tell me a very simple question of basic AI. Now when the energy is shortage to me, now PV is not there, I am using switching on a bulb. So will I take that energy from the main grid or from the battery? Which one, battery or main grid? Just imagine, just 1 minute, very important question. In this rooftop I have PV and this room we all are working now. Now, if I switch on this room being operational, it needs energy. This energy can come from 3 different sources. Perhaps actually it is from 4 different sources. One is rooftop PV, Second is if there is a battery. Third, the distribution company of Rajasthan. And the fourth, there could be a diesel generator, which is also sitting there. So from where, how do I take energy at a given point of time? Grid, very good. But if the grid is, if you take from the grid, then what will happen to my PV? Because the energy that you have stored, what is your name, sir, if you don't mind? Manmohan. Very. So if you have a battery, please try to understand. Very interesting question. If you have a battery today, the morning 5 o'clock energy being generated by the PV is being stored. If I do not use that battery today, then tomorrow morning I cannot take that PV. So this battery has to be discharged. If I take it from the grid, and my Udaipur being a city, my grid could be strong. So whole day actually मैंने grid से power लेके पूरा दिन consume कर ली, और अगले दिन मेरे पास जो PV energy available है, वो energy मैंने waste कर रहा हूँ. So I am doing a crime now because not able to grab those solar. So what I have to do before the tomorrow morning, the battery has to be discharged. How do you do that? So now tell me, whether you take from the grid or from the PV or the battery, the answer could be now take from the battery first and then take from the grid. But there is a problem, ma'am, there is a problem. Let's say I have discharged all the battery now, consumed very nicely, made my battery completely drown so that tomorrow morning it can charge, and then I am going from the grid now. But 7 p.m. the grid is not available. So then I will be in dark again. So that means there will be a huge optimization analysis every 5 minutes. We have to see the load profile, forecasting the requirement of load and generation both, and then take steps accordingly. I have to see to that next 5 minutes, next 15 minutes. So I have to have a 24 hours load and generation forecasting. Millions of and billions of data, and apply my AI tool to optimize and instruct this auditorium at what time, what energy to be used. Is it not a big AI problem, sir? How many of you agree that AI is the only tool which can address energy security of this country? How many of you agree? Yes? I think very good. So this is what I wanted to highlight. So due to sort of time, I'm not disappointing Sanjeev. I think we have to give opportunity to other speakers and we will be listening it. So very quickly, I will get into the last slide very quickly. So this is what we have done actually, and this is the battery which is currently in operational. And this is what actually I like to highlight. Just a minute. And this is what the R&D activity we are doing today, using all the AI's applications. And the future, this is the future, is you will be having millions of microgrids. In Udaipur itself, you will have 20 to 30 PV battery grid connected setups, and that is known as microgrids. And the very important part, each one of them must speak to the other microgrids. The future. Today, IIM may be having a microgrid. It has its own PV, it has its own battery, it has its own diesel generator, and they are happy. IIM is very happy now. But my neighbor village is not getting electricity. Can IIM help them to get the electricity if they have access? And that communication is possible only when AI tool is properly embedded. So if you talk about energy for all, if you talk energy access for all, and if you dream for a Viksit Bharat, then a huge mathematical computation for energy security is mandatory, renewable energy integration is mandatory, and successful execution, technology, and training on AI to energy security will be the future. I am very confident NIC Rajasthan will take necessary steps to make this dream possible. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
It was a wonderful presentation.
Yes, I'll be happy. Thank you.
Before Padhy sir leaves the stage, well, please do not leave the stage because one more small thing is still left. And I would like to request the audience, आप में से कोई आपकी जिज्ञासा हो, कोई प्रश्न हो, कृपया करके आप सबको पूछ सकते हैं. प्लीज एक माइक वहाँ पे अनुज जी.
How would the cost of storage?
Cost.
Yeah. I think the cost of storage, it was expensive, but I mean, I will tell you the cost is drastically dropping down. So I think it is possible to implement.
Are we doing innovation in battery also?
Oh yes, oh yes. For an example, the biggest challenge today that if I have a 200 kilowatt of PV with me, the easiest way is to put a 200 kilowatt of battery to save all the energies. But can I manage with 20 kilowatt of battery with less investment? And that is possible through optimization study. And to do that, actually, you need a lot of data and a lot of tools. So to me, today it is looks to be expensive because we are not using any intelligence to it. I think we need to optimize further with what would be the minimum storage that can cater the maximum renewable integration become the question need to be addressed. Thank you. Any other?
I think though engineers will find out the ways, but as we are studying these days, lot many accidents are occurring due to batteries. Maybe the quality issues are there, and these will harm environment a lot. When you think of such a humongous microgrids, number of microgrids, so can we think of some arm of engineering which shall work specifically on this sector?
Okay, I think it's a very good question. All the questions are those who are not even asking, just questions being asked there and here, they're extremely relevant questions, and they're putting the last nail on the, and this is a very important question. The safety of batteries, okay? But what we're talking about, the bikes we see got fired, we see 4-wheelers battery got fired. But the challenge today, we are not getting into the chemistry of battery, and that is keep on changing over a period of time. Lithium ion actually completely dominated by China, and hence we cannot, they decide the price of the lithium today. But now India is moving towards actually hydrogen. Please all of you try to understand. And the hydrogen will be generated using the PV. So when we have excess PV, that PV will instead of storing in the form of lithium battery, we are trying to produce hydrogen at that time and then discharge the hydrogen during the requirement. So I think a lot of good green technology are in place today in this country, and I am very confident that these are the areas we need to focus. We become Atmanirbhar, that is very important. We have to move for green hydrogen, but nevertheless, we cannot produce green hydrogen in a top of the hill. Okay, so there's some extent we have to go for lithium batteries. It's a mixture of storage technology need to be adopted in this country, and most of the renewable energy that is being generated to be charged electric vehicles immediately at residential level or to be used for green hydrogen generation. That is what we are working on.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
And there's a question from our Chief Informatics Officer, Dr. Pigai.
Please.
Thank you, sir. That was a very interesting problem, and for which you also have given a very beautiful solution. My question is, as a novice in this field, I would only look at the other side, where what is the cost of computing? Over time, we are going to generate a lot of data, and also we need to work on a lot of because your final thing is like load generation forecasting. So how do we foresee?
Yeah.
How do we foresee the cost of computing, and what is the cost model associated with it?
Exactly. I think C is also taking me to my current research area, slowly driving me there. Also, please try to understand that what I am talking about AI is not like a computational AI that many people do. It is not like a ChatGPT. Here, the AI will be a hardware-based artificial intelligence technique. All of you, please try to understand. Means all the data need to be simulated to a hardware platform, and then action will be taken. So this is the ultimatum of artificial intelligence for which the whole world is working today. I will take a simple example. In my laboratory, to handle a 100 megawatt system, we need a system which is more than 1 million USD, close to 8 crore. To simulate all the data in a hardware platform. So what I am emphasizing here, it is not about a normal PC, because please try to understand, if I have an AI tool, process and give the instruction, by the time my instruction reaches to the control center, the load profile and the load demand might have changed. So I have to carry out a AI simulation in a real time. In a real time, and that is known as real-time digital simulator for AI, and it is also known as power hardware loop simulation or power hardware in loop simulation using AI. So this is much beyond AI that what you see today. But without this, the AI we will not be successful. So it is not about having the data to my PC, but how to integrate to a real-time hardware interface before we take the action. So that's why we are talking about quantum simulator based on AI for energy security. And so I'm not really getting into deeper, because most of my officers will be little bored if I talk too much of technical, but your question is relevant. Now it is high time to make a hardware simulator to deal with the AI data, and millions of data become the future, and the whole world started working. Probably we are very late. Now it is high time to start working, because laptop, mobile is not going to help you until unless you have a product which can deal AI tools become a challenge. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And if you kind of please remain on the stage, sir. And that was Dr. N.P. Padhy from the Maldives National Institute of Technology. I think we are just running short of time. You can probably, okay. During tea break, you can talk. Please give this question right now. And so nice of you, sir. हम ये आपकी जो बोलने की शैली है, आपके जो विचार है, आपने जो चीजों को प्रस्तुत किया, उसको हम सलाम करते हैं और हम ये कामना करते हैं कि ऐसी चीजों को खूब पंख मिले और उसके हौसले बुलंद करें। तो डॉक्टर पाधी के लिए मैं सभी से आग्रह करूंगा कि अपने हाथों को अभिनंदन करें। और इस मौके पर मैं आग्रह कर रहा हूं हमारे राज्य संयोजक जी श्री प्रसाद कुमार मित्तल साहिब से कि आप कृपया करके स्टेज पे पधारें और हमारे स्पीकर डॉक्टर एन.पी. पाधी साहिब को ग्रेटिट्यूड स्वरूप स्मृति चिन्ह प्रदान करें। थैंक यू वेरी मच सर। आप श्रीनाथ जी के दर्शन करें, आशीर्वाद लें, हम लोगों को भी थोड़ा आशीर्वाद दें। थैंक यू। हमारे बीच में इस सभागार में विशिष्ट आगंतुक भी पधार चुके हैं। सबसे पहले मैं स्वागत करना चाहूँगा, मैं आग्रह करूँगा श्री नजर हुसैन जी को कि आप हमारे बीच पधारे श्री अबुला साई कृष्णा जी जो कि SDM हैं, IAS अधिकारी हैं, आपका प्लान देकर आपका अभिनंदन करें। हमारे बीच में उपस्थित हैं मैडम वासवानी जी, आशिमा वासवानी जी जो कि IPS अधिकारी हैं, आपका बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन करें। श्री मजहर हुसैन जी हमारे सीनियर डायरेक्टर, श्री अबुला साई कृष्णा, दूसरा प्लान जी की आइए प्लीज, आशिमा वासवानी जी जो DYSP हैं, IPS अधिकारी हैं। हमारे बीच में एक और स्पीकर उपस्थित हो चुके हैं, आप हैं श्री शशांक ठाकुर जी। कृपया अमित अग्रवाल जी आप शशांक ठाकुर साहब को पौध भेंट करके उनका अभिनंदन करें, उनका स्वागत। हम लोग बढ़ रहे हैं एक और ही बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण विषय की ओर। हमारे बीच में बहुत अच्छा सा चमकता हुआ सितारा है NIC के एक क्षितिज में। आप हैं मैडम शर्मिष्ठा दासगुप्ता जी। शर्मिष्ठा जी का नाम जब भी आता है हमारे सामने AI की तस्वीर खिंच जाती है। चाहे वो भाषिकी हो, चाहे वो विपरीत हो, चाहे वो AI एज ए सर्विस हो, चाहे वो प्रबंधन हो, अलग अलग प्रकार के जो AI के एप्लीकेशन से उनको हेड कर रही हैं हमारे राष्ट्रीय सूचना विज्ञान केंद्र के उप महानिदेशक हैं। और तालियों के साथ उनका स्वागत करें शर्मिष्ठा दासगुप्ता जी। इसके पहले कि हम उनको प्रस्तुति के लिए निवेदन करें, उनके बारे में मैं थोड़ी जानकारी आपके सामने प्रस्तुत करने जा रहा हूँ। आपको 30 साल से अधिक का फील्ड एक्सपीरियंस है। आप वर्तमान में डिप्टी डायरेक्टर जनरल हैं, MCA हैं और पहले टेक्निकल डायरेक्टर और HOD रहे हैं फाइनेंशियल इंटेलिजेंस में, सीनियर डायरेक्टर रहे हैं मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हाउसिंग एंड अर्बन डेवलपमेंट महुआ में, और इट्स अटैच्ड इन सबऑर्डिनेट ऑफिसर्स में कमिश्नरिंग ऑफ सेंटर ऑफ एक्सीलेंस इन आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस। इसकी बात चल रही थी और मैंने जब अपना उद्बोधन शुरू किया था तो मैंने एक सपना देखा था कि क्या उदयपुर में सेंटर ऑफ एक्सीलेंस स्थापित हो पाएगा। तो उस दिशा में भी मैडम अगर थोड़ा प्रकाश डालेंगी तो बहुत अच्छा लगेगा। और साथ में AI एज अ सर्विस ऑन मेघराज क्लाउड, इमेज एंड वीडियो एनालिटिक्स असिस्टेंस बाय MNIT वानी, इसका नाम है, is a book of services that received around 56 crore service requests in 2024. Satyapikanan, the face verification using that is used for the Merit Certificate professionals or minority learners, license and driving license renewal plan, national testing agency, etc. Document image analytics, AI पारखी जिसे हम कहते हैं मॉडल, ये सब कुछ जो है आप समझ लें कि मैडम शर्मिष्ठा जी की देन है। और इनको जो हम सुनेंगे अभी, इसके अलावा जियो स्पेशल ड्रोन इमेज एनालिटिक्स है, AI मास्टर मल्टीलिंगुअल सर्विसेज है, AI कम्युनिटी टेक्स्ट ट्रांसलेशन, ये ब्रीफ मास्किंग है जो कि हमने राजस्थान में ई पंजीयन के लिए किया है। हम आपको बताएंगे आगे आगे कि राजस्थान ने किस प्रकार से जो है अलग अलग क्षेत्रों में AI ने प्रगति करी है, उस पर भी बातचीत होगी। और इसके अलावा AI सारांश है, टेक्स्ट समराइजेशन है, वाणी की बात हुई, श्रुति टेक्स्ट ट्रांसक्रिप्शन है, अन्वेषिका है। फहरिस्त बहुत लंबी है और ये सारा समय कंज्यूम ना कर ले, इसी तरह से मैं आगे करने जा रहा हूँ। शर्मिष्ठा प्लीज। थैंक यू।
Thank you for inviting me before this August audience. I would like to give you a brief of what AI is before I go on to say what all we are doing in eGovernance in AI. So basically, we have been hearing AI everywhere. So what happens is, when you go on a drive, you will get the best route, right? So कैसे निकालता system?
आवाज की वॉल्यूम बढ़ाओ।
Okay. So basically, Google is using your data, your satellite imagery data and all, find out what is going on, what is the status of traffic, if there is any obstacle on the road and all that, and then it is processing and giving you guidance, right? So AI, it has become part and parcel of everybody's life. So how is it different from normal management information systems which we are working on? So when you are basically implementing an MIS, you are doing a rule-based approach where you do if-then-else statement, right? So you have got a set of input in an input form, any project which you are using. When you take a citizen's data, you take out the form. You might be having 50 parameters, and then you take out some output, some report on some scheme of the government of India or any central government, state government, and you give it. These are static reports. It gives you an analysis, postmortem analysis of what the scheme has been able to achieve or not able to achieve. It is not, it might not be taking any input from the citizens as such, like whatever they have said on the social media and all. And it is just taking from the broad design system where you have written some loops and some if-then-else statements to get from point A to point B. It's a deterministic type of thing. So what you have to do, if you learn from the patterns in the data, you have got all the citizens' data, you know somebody might be, so many genders are there, caste is there, so many parameters are there. You cannot possibly write an if-then-else for all. So how many rules you got to write? So So you let the system learn the patterns from the data. So instead of this deterministic if then else, if this is true or that is false, it is not AI. How does it get insights? By probabilistic method. It will basically take the data, analyze the data, and give you insights. These insights might be without supervision. Without supervision means without training, clustering of data and all that. And half per hour. So what I was saying is, क्लस्टरिंग के बारे में बात करें, राइट? सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज जब आप डेटा को है, डेटा आपके पास है, सपोज आपके पास आपको फ्रॉड एनालिसिस करनी है, आपके पास Amazon या Google का डेटा है, या Amazon का डेटा है, so many people are using that data. Then what you do? You have to give recommendations, you have to sell your products, give advertisement. What they do? They might get that data on a daily basis, and you are basically, if you are a regulator, you would like to see कहाँ पे over invoicing हो रही है, under invoicing हो रही है, like that. So you don't want to go through all the data. You might require the data which is looking not which is away from the crowd, right? So what you can do? Ask the system to cluster the data. Some of them will be a big cluster, which will be a normal data. Suppose your revenue collection you are doing, timber, gold, any sector. If you are analyzing the data, one big set will be normal, and some small set is there which looks like an outlier. These you might your revenue department might like to look into those outliers, right? So basically, any unclustered normal data patterns you can search from the data, or you can do some supervised learning. How is supervised learning done? Means you give data which has got a dependent variable and independent variables. Suppose you want to find out the analysis of house prices in a particular locality in your city. So you have the data for the previous years. So many, you might be having number of rooms, number of bathrooms, and whether it is a park facing, you have number of balconies, what is the covered area. So there are, and then whether there is a transport facility available, whether it's installed in a neighborhood. So there are so many parameters which decides the sale price of a house, right, at a particular locality. So then this you might be having over the years. So this dependent variable sale price, and these are the independent variables. So you plot a line of best fit through that to find out which is the at today's date it will predict, because you have got the previous data, so you can make out the value at of this sale price at the current date, right? So this is how AI works. Either it is unsupervised learning or it may be supervised learning. Or nowadays we have got semi-supervised learning also. Like you ChatGPT and all, you are learning on Wikipedia corpus, English. So the system starts learning English. Okay. Now you have to do supervised learning, like suppose you want to do translation for from English to Hindi for judiciary. Legal guidance are there. Okay. So this is, so you have to give the parallel corpus for this. So now you are training last night. But the main it knows the grammar and all that. It has learned from the background, right? So this is how AI works. There is nothing magical about AI. It is all mathematical computations, right? So there might be simple algorithms like y is equal to x plus c or a Banach cluster, which is a line of best fit. Or there might be some variations. You might be having a quadratic polynomial system or something like that. So your function might be different in different cases, right? And you try to reduce the error between the data and you from the data you get a prediction, which we call a hypothesis, and then you get the main the actual ground truth, right? So you try to reduce the difference between the ground truth and the prediction. This is what AI does. Whether it is ChatGPT or any GPT, they will try to mimic the real world and try to reduce the what you have predicted, right? So, so this is how things work, right? Now what I want to say is, AI has got many parts. One is you use machine learning from the structured data, like I told you the house case, where you have got the attributes, like number of rooms and number of bathrooms and all that, right? And then there are some unstructured data, like which you are getting from the social media, you are getting text, you are getting video, you are getting speech. So you have to, these are not available, means you have to interpret that. Okay, so when you are using structured data, maybe in the finance sector, then what happens, you might be having a domain expert from the bank who knows for the home loan how this values have to be calculated, which are the important attributes, which are not. But when AI is used for bigger projects, like sir said about the energy thing, how we do the optimization algorithms and all, there are many factors which we don't know. Like in a screen like this, if you want to interpret this screen, this is a vision which has got lots of pixels of different colors, different shapes, different sizes and all that, right? So you have to learn from this. And then when we have a lot of text, we learn from those texts. So what happens here is, basically, we try to break down the frame into smaller frames. When you have a large context, you might be dividing into paragraph and getting the chunking. It's in system, everything is zeros and ones, right? So your context has to be also coming along with the AI does not work in a vacuum. It has to work with the relevant context. Okay. So if you don't need gender for a particular use case, don't use gender. Because there can be bias also introduced, because you are taking real world systems and trying to predict for the future. You will be capturing all the errors of the human people, whatever, because real world system very heuristic and all that. If you say all dark people are basically like if you take a US policing system, it will be biased towards against the Negroes, right? So if you start to using it in Chennai, you might be having a problem. You might be getting normal people out in the night for a drink or something like that. You will get him in because saying that this person who is suspect, he is scoring on the board, right? So this type of bias and all has to be removed. Okay, so this is in AI we use it to remove all this. We use lot of data. When you give the system a lot of data, the system learns further. Okay. So if you don't have lot of data, you have to basically we do a sampling of the data. So whenever you take that sample, you have to make sure that it is representative of all the groups which you want to classify. Means suppose you want to say whether a tumor is malignant or non-malignant, or whether this class has got some engineer, some doctor, some like this. There are many classes. It can be you want to find out whether it is a dog, species of dog, cat, any animal, right? So there will be so many classes. So when you do all this, then you have to basically learn the patterns from the data. So unstructured data like this, when we learn, we have got lot of pixels in this, lot of text in that, which I was covering previously. We use neural networks. This is a class of algorithms. Machine learning is simple. These are deep learning algorithms which try to mimic human brains, which are called neurons. So each layer learns one layer of abstraction, and then it makes it to the next layer, and then it learns another layer of abstraction. Now suppose in this diagram, first I say you find out all the circles, or all the rectangles, all the polygons, so it will find. In the next layer of abstraction, you try to find out all the colors. So, and then in the last you say all the green colored ones are RCC concrete roof, like that, right? So they can be classified. Some will be thatch roof, some will be, there are different colors, and you are doing that. So each layer of abstraction learns something from the input data, input frames which are coming into the system. If you have a video, it will be having frames, it will be coming. If you have a single frame, single photo, then also it will pick up different parts of the data and learn. Like our human brains learn, same way AI learns. So when we did this Center of Excellence creation, then we created GPU infrastructure. Why? Because all this is matrix multiplication and addition inside. So everything is broken down because compute is so heavy here. We break down this into many frames, many 3 by 3 patches or something like that, or 9 by 9 patches like that, and we move it to the system. At each layer, we learn some type of abstraction. So the GPUs are basically meant for parallel processing, means matrix multiplication and matrix addition. You all have done in class 12, right? So this is how the things work. So any machine learning algorithms which you use on structured data, they can still be worked out on CPUs, VMs, right? But if you work out on video, speech analytics, or image analytics, or text, then we require GPU. So I will be telling you more about our work later. Let me give you some. So I told you predictive AI, it is used for forecasting and all that, predictive maintenance and all that. So usually using historical data and predicting trends. So it can be done on the basis of VM and all that. And then we have deep learning models which uses text and all that. And then the next class is the generative AI. I will tell you about generative AI more later because it is the next round after normal perspective AI, which we call, basically, which you are using simple low-hanging fruits by using vision, text. But when you use generative AI, when the system starts learning and predicting on its own, it is more heavier than normal AI. Okay. So, what are our services? We have been giving Gidwani, virtual assistance by NIC. These are multilingual chatbot services available in all 22 Indian languages. So you can use it on the websites. Okay. So you have to design the content that is yours. Means whatever the site you want to navigate, whatever the PDFs you have, whatever you want to know, get the citizens, whatever communication you want to do to the citizens. Basically, what AI helps with is all repetitive work. So if you have a help desk which runs 24/7, you are incurring some cost on that. Okay. So if there are some questions which can be answered by the bot itself, then it is always preferable. And the questions which you are not able to answer, means they are typical questions, those can be, you can give them a prompt for whether you want to use a help desk agent, like that. Okay. So it reduces a lot of your repetitive work whenever any new scheme or anything is introduced. Then we have got AI Shri, which is speech to text services, which we give in 10 languages at present, streaming. We have image and video analytics assistance. So we allow face image analytics, like in CBSE, NIT, JEE exams and all. People, children load photographs which are basically human even an animal photograph, or somebody might be loading group photograph. So children do this shit. So all those forms, around 30-40 lakh forms comes within the 3 months in which the JEE exam takes place. So what happens is, it is not physically possible for the staff to complete that work in that time, right? To go through all the form. So if you when the system, when the person uploads the photo, at that point of time only, if you tell them, you know, this photo is not its aspect ratio and all are not right, its color combination is not right. So it is help for the people also. And the administrative task, most work is reduced from them, and the students also are not allowed to file wrong applications. So like that, we have got many services. I will show you examples so that you all know how you can utilize in eGovernance these services, so that you can get more. These are low-hanging fruits. These are already available through NIC. And later on, you can also develop your own perspective on what all you need to get developed. Like sir talked about, because Rajasthan has got wind and solar power, so you all can focus on that. So basically, you should, all of you all should have a AI action plan. Your state should have an AI action plan. Like Gujarat has created its, they had a task force and they created their own action plan. Okay, for the next 3 to 5 years, I'm going to do this. In the next 3 years, all these services we will implement. We might take some GPU compute from National AI Mission, which is giving the GPUs, and then we can start our own center of excellence, have some of AI manpower sitting, and then we can do some work on our own. And then as we mature, we can get more data center created for ourselves, so that your data sovereignty and data risk are well managed, and your cyber security is also well in place, and everything is GPU. I mean, you don't have to run to ChatGPT or something like that, which is where your data is going to out of country, right? So AI Padhy is document image analytics. It will see whenever anybody loads the photograph, I mean, any document on the system, it checks whether it's legible or not. If it's not legible, it will inform. Drishti was the one which I was talking about. This is geospatial. I will tell you more about this later. AI Matra is our text transliteration services. So what you can do is you can use the keyboard, English keyboard, to type it in any of the 22 languages. Also, suppose you have got name and address. Like in Bharat, they wanted the Prime Minister should write all the name in the respective language of that citizen. Okay, that letter which went from, so at in 1 month we did around 3 crores or something. Letters went, you just name and address, transliterate. So Pool Kumari remains Pool Kumari in English, it doesn't become flower. So like that. Padhy is our translation services. It is basically, it will take the data, your full context. It takes the context also, so that way it does the translation into 22 Indic languages. So that you have the reference. If it is a bank of a river, it is different from I'm going to the bank to retrieve some money, right? So in both cases, it will give you the right meaning of the sentence in Hindi. Saransh is our text summarization services. It is available in English, and you can get it translated to any language. You can basically maybe put it in a pipeline such that if you give a document in Hindi, it gets translated to English. You summarize the document, again it is translated back to Hindi. Okay. So like that, many of these services can be put in pipeline to design your case for you. AI Niblit is our masking of PII in documents. It is basically Aadhaar, PAN, fingerprints which you give in same documents. वो 50 rupees में Department of Stamp and Revenue से आप लोग दे देते हैं. Public uses it to clone your fingerprints of the citizens and defraud them to the Aadhaar number payment system of bank. So it has been also implemented all over India. AI Anveshika is our generative AI services. And Migra is a research analytics assistance tool for courts, which we have given on the basis of generative AI. It will be used by Supreme Court. So see, Padhy is our virtual assistance by MNIT. We have Vahan tracking, driving license. Any questions you ask, you can ask the bot. So in driving license, you might be having all the states having different procedures. But on the site, you can just go to the bot and ask for a particular state and all that, and you can find out all the details about that, right? Like this is Kanyashi portal. So here, that person the girl can speak in English, Hindi, or Bengali, because they have opted for Bengali. You can opt for any language. So the bot can respond to you. It is a dynamic service by which giving the number, the girl can find out what is the status of her scholarship without going to that department. You don't have to go to any department, right? So we have it for National Scholarship Portal also. So like this, e-district Delhi was a very good use case. They have stopped. Actually, Gidwani virtual assistance by NIC is a paid service of ours under NIC, and we have a very nominal charge of 4.5 lakhs per annum for multilingual chatbots. So e-district Delhi was there, they have again said that they will renew it. So in this, what happens is 32 services, like revenue department, birth and death, marriage certificate, your domicile certificate, special marriage certificate, veterinary sciences, any question, anything you ask the bot, it used to answer. And it would give you all the details of procedures and everything in that for Delhi, for the citizens, right? So whenever you design and design the intent of the system, you always make sure that you don't design it for department wise. Then what happens is that people have to remember the name of their department, go there and do it. Either you design it at the state level or you design it at the district level, so that all the services you get from one source, one website, and having a navigator like a chatbot there, you can ask any question and that system, it will take you to the, it will answer you all the questions. It can give you the dynamically also the data if the person has done some transaction with you, and then you can facilitate the citizen with login and password if you require for the risks. Okay, I know I have to go. I'm good. These are text transcription services. I'm just telling the products. Shruti is our text transcription services, which is available, means anybody can ask, anybody can speak out and it will type it out. So this is being used by courts because what happens is judges many times give dictation in the night after having dinner, and that time no steno is there, so they can dictate the judgment and the system will write it out. Image and video analytics, you have got many use cases here: RTO, driving license, renewal. You give a photograph now. You have in the database, you have got a photo which is 5 years old, it will match. You have online license test, it gives the, it allows the person to take the exam from the sitting at home. Your face is matched with the Aadhaar photo, right? Then we have got that online proctoring and all for that. This is pan-India available. ICJS is another one, interoperable criminal justice system, where you just drop a photograph of any antisocial and it will tell you in which prison this person. Huh? The one with the photographs. So that you can find out in which prison that person is. He is out on bail. What are the warrants against him and whatever. Whoever, all the intelligence agencies are on this. On the other side is Padhy. Padhy is our scanned document image analytics. Petroleum and explosives safety organization under Department of Commerce is using it for engineering drawings. When they have a workflow system, people upload photographs of warehouses where they can put explosives. So they have to have proper design consideration, engineering drawings. So these these should be readable. So we do the legibility check at the time of the online applications. So paperless licensing. So like this, we have got they have used for document checking, e-cabinet services and all. They are using it so that proper documents are given to the MLAs or not, right? And the next one is basically if you have any text which has to be given to all the MLAs, then what happens is somebody is writing something, some references is making something, some scribbling is done. So what happens is you don't have to keep so many copies of the document. One copy of the document, but on role base you can keep the coordinates of these, so that next time he opens it, he will see the same screen. This is our image and video analytics. I told you this is being used by Ministry of Panchayati Raj. They had a drone image analytics, drone images which are of the villages, the thatch roofs, tin roofs, RCC, concrete roofs. They get to us so that we can segment this data and give to them the area estimation so that it can be given to Ministry of Renewable Energy so that they can estimate the amount of money which has to go for solar panels. Right now we are working for glacial lake overflow with Sikkim. Image and so you see we get around at least 2 crore bits per month. We have got implemented. Uttarakhand has got integrated management system where you can apply. Your face is verified at the time of this when he comes to the reception, and when he is going, you can get the full documentation. Means anytime anybody can get a report on that. This is just select the language, Marathi, Telugu, Tamil, whatever, it will come in like that, right? Informatics division is using it for sickle cell anemia card, which can be given in the regional languages. So you can think of many types of projects which can be, which you can hit low hanging fruits, right? And then later on you can improvise more and do better things. So finally is that our text translation services, Supreme Court, I told you, we have already given them a legal instance for them. This is summarization because the courts have got each petition or whatever for case orders are 300 to 500 to 1000 pages long. So it is always better if we can get a short summary of that, highlights. Hybrid is, you see the fingerprints, they are getting marks. They are all the registration departments all over India. So like this we are using, okay, Rajasthan is not there. Maybe it is there now. Anyway, so these are the ones which are using. So I am not talking much about national AI mission. Abhishek sir will tell you what are the figures and how things can get help from there. So this is our generative AI services, which is at present being used by, we have given to Parliament, we have given to the court. So this is the legal, so the whole case PDF is there, and you can make a summary, what is the legal relationship between the parties and the nature of dispute, factual matters, information judgment, or like that you can make a brief of the case, brief of the judgment, brief of the petition, like that. Okay. Okay, thank you. Remove this. This is not recorded.
So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, we had a wonderful session with Sharmistha Dasgupta ji. Yes, we'll take questions. Surely we'll take questions. Madam Sharmistha ji spoke about the many facets, many parts using ML. The social media is giving unstructured data. She talked about neural networks, predictive AI, deep learning models, generative AI. She talked about the services of NIC, AI.NIC. It is also a very important website which you can always access. She talked about Vani, AI Shruti, video and image analytics, Satyapik Anand, Padhy, Vihangam Drishti, AI Matra, AI Panini, AI Saransh, AI Nidhi, and Anveshika, and Agra. And she talked about the India AI mission.
AI mission service.
Yes, he will elaborate. He will elaborate on that.
Yeah,
And
because
so many things. So many things.
1 hour, then I can speak properly.
Yes, ma'am. You are an Encyclopedia Britannica on artificial intelligence. We all of us know. And we I now request our esteemed audience to, if they have any questions, they please come up. Yes, one question, gentlemen.
So, my question.
Sir, your name please.
Hemendra, I am a visiting faculty here.
Okay.
Quick question about the accuracy of the results, reliability, and the data protection, because you're using a lot of public data for all your services.
Sir, NIC is the custodian of data. We don't take data until and unless the ministry gives us the data. Okay, we get an AI form signed by them. We're telling them of the risk. I have not talked about risk. Because the societal bias and all are there. There is bias due to data. Data is not representative of the stakeholders, and it can be biased because of the model. Means the person's thinking might bias it, right? So basically, when we take the data, we take it from them. We do a user acceptance test by the user. So for Supreme Court, our pilot ran from May 25 to December 25. Day before yesterday, they have given a using the legal analysis research tool in Singapore. have been testing it for whenever Satyakam phase 9 which we have covered. For that we did a massive data work with RTO, Northeast. So we had all this data. We done it. Basically, we take the open source model and improve it. And it is a heuristic process. We check which is giving better performance. It is not that only one model we check and then we come back. And then this Panini and these are all National Language Translation Mission, which was done by IIM and uploaded as an open source tool by Padhy. We have downloaded that, and on that basis we are doing the services.
But are the translation model working to the satisfaction? Like, what's the confidence level here, especially for legal?
Sir, I had shown you the program. Supreme Court is using it heavily.
That's what's my worry.
Because it depends actually. Not all languages might be having same amount of literacy, but we continuously watch. Sometimes we use synthetic data also. Suppose when we don't have the data like speech to text, we are just having 10 languages. So we are working for Punjabi and all. So we take the data, which are whatever available, and use the whisper and all that to generate some synthetic data so that we have the target offer. And then we tell the people, you test. If you don't like it, don't use it. It's not compulsory. There are so many vendors making the services. Anybody can use it.
थैंक्स शर्मिष्ठा. एक्चुअली एक कहावत है, मांगते मांगते ही फकीर बनते हैं. तो AI के साथ वो बहुत लागू होती है. जितना आप काम करेंगे इस पे उतना मैच्योरिटी लेवल बढ़ेगा. I think I would request Sharmistha ji to just put, if some department or some organization wants to take help from you, what is the curve? I think that is most important. We have to
But
do
you can
not many
always
things.
approach or even make Shri at NIT.
Shashank at NIT. Thank you, ma'am. And, that was a wonderful presentation from you, and all of us loved it. And I would now request Shri Arun Mathurji to please come onto the stage. And as a token of gratitude to our
सर अब करने से सेंस ही नहीं है, इतना फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. आवाज जो आ रही है वो स्पीकर से है. स्पीकर की वॉल्यूम बढ़ गई. स्पीकर में होगा. इधर मूव करो उसको ना.
round of applause for Madam Sharmistha. So that was Sharmistha Dasgupta, Deputy Director General, heading the AI division of the NIC. Thank you once again, ma'am, for your visit to Jaipur and your wonderful lecture. And in the first session today, we are coming to the close of the first session, and we had a wonderful presentation by Dr. Padhy sir on the renewable energy sector, applying artificial intelligence. He talked about the Vikasit Bharat. It was very interesting how India will become a 30 trillion economy in 2047, on the 100th year of our independence. And the 4 pillars, the ladies, the is there another question? No. And the poor, the farmer, and the youth are the 4 pillars. And out of the different aspects of Vikasit Bharat, we also have governance. And this AI workshop is intended for Prabhavi governance, Prabhavi Shasan, effective governance, and we are gradually heading towards that. So, with that we come to the end of the first session. हमारा आज का जो पहला सेशन है हम आपको बता दें, ये 1 दिवसीय जो कार्यशाला है प्रभावी शासन के लिए, मेकिंग for effective governance, organized by NIC, rather NIC Rajasthan, as part of a pre-event for the AI Impact Summit to be held in February 2026, and we are very grateful to our sponsors, the RISL, the Rajasthan Info Services Limited, the Rajasthan State Mines and Minerals Limited, the Urban Development Authority, NITSI, and we again thank our sponsors for that. और अब हम जो है छोटा सा ब्रेक लेंगे, हम सब रहेंगे एक, चलते हैं थैंक यू. इसके बाद delivers measurable business impact with extensive experience in end-to-end solution development, Bharat itself, and optimizing GPU performance through effective resource management and cost optimization technical strategies. His technical prowess extends to advanced LLM techniques, including inference and training optimization. Drawing on his strong background in MLOps and cloud architecture, Bharat architects comprehensive deployment pipeline ensures high throughput inference and seamless scalability. The solutions emphasize production readiness, incorporating robust monitoring and security controls, enabling organizations such as cloud providers, ISPs, and enterprise to successfully navigate their AI transformation journey. Let us welcome Shri Gidwani to the stage. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Thank you for inviting NVIDIA to the esteemed workshop at NIC as well as and thank you NIC team for inviting us. And let me start with explaining about what we actually do and how basically people see us as well as how we are contributing to sovereign AI in India as well as across the globe. I just have one small question, and also sir mentioned that we are known for GPUs. I just wanted to know from others as well how you see NVIDIA as a company. Like, what major things you have heard about us? If anyone can,
You are that is on PC we are seeing that is graphic cards. It is showing NVIDIA. So from last 10-15 years I am watching that is NVIDIA is using this.
So that's absolutely right. We actually started with the graphic processing cards on systems, on the laptop that you have, or on the machines that you use day-to-day in your day-to-day life for gaming or for anything kind of use cases. But after certain point, when AI journey started right in around 2012 and we saw that there is a real need of heavy computation power to process these latest upcoming models, right? So initially there were a few models like ACGNet, LXNet, right? So LXNet was the first computer vision CNN model, the deep learning model that was trained on a GPU, which you were using on your laptops or on the workstation. So then in there we started thinking of why not we scale this GPU in a way that it actually captures the enterprise audience, which are basically the enterprise customers or the researchers of the world who are going to create such large or even larger models. At that time, LXNet was a big model. It had roughly around in tens of millions parameters. Now we are dealing with trillions of parameters. So by parameters, in general, we mean a floating digit, a floating value. So you can understand that there are trillions of floating values who have to fit in a GPU or stack of GPU. So that's why we thought of building an ecosystem to use these kind of models in efficient ways.
Yeah, आगे रखते हैं. थोड़ा वॉल्यूम बढ़ा दो.
अभी सुनाई दे रहा है सबको? Yeah. Okay. So I'll start with the video first. It will give you would be interested in many industrial projects, right? For example, sir talked about the renewable projects, and there can be projects in the domain of manufacturing. So how simulation as well as AI would be helpful, and how GPUs are further advancing it, integrating it with the help of certain toolings and frameworks I'll be showing. And to start with, I'll just start with a video which will give a pretty much good idea. So it's a 1 minute, 2 minute video. To give you an idea about what we do.
I am a visionary. Illuminating galaxies to witness the birth of stars. And sharpening our understanding of extreme weather events. I am a helper, guiding the blind through a crowded world.
I was thinking about running to the store.
And giving voice to those who cannot speak.
Do not make me laugh.
I am a transformer, harnessing gravity to store renewable power. And paving the way towards unlimited clean energy for us all. I am a trainer, teaching robots to assist, to watch out for danger, and help save lives. I am a healer, providing a new generation of cures and new levels of patient care.
That I am allergic to penicillin. Is it still okay to take the medications?
Definitely. These antibiotics don't contain penicillin, so it's perfectly safe for you to take them.
I am a navigator, generating virtual scenarios to let us safely explore the real world and understand every decision. I even help write the script. Breathe life into the words en muchos idiomas y escribí la música. I am AI, brought to life by NVIDIA, deep learning, and brilliant.
Okay, so that was a brief introduction about NVIDIA. So we are not just a GPU company, we are working with lots of different
आवाज थोड़ा बढ़ाइए क्योंकि YouTube लाइव भी चल रहा है.
Hello. So we are working with different kinds of customers in different domains, and for that we started creating multiple different kinds of software stacks that help them build such ecosystem, build such libraries. So we now call us accelerated platform company. Okay, so here is a brief picture about it. You can see on the bottom line the main baseline of NVIDIA is called as hardware. So ecosystem is there. We started with GPU. Now we also have a CPU platform as well, which is generally only available in the enterprise data center systems. We call as Grace CPU. On
On top of it, we acquired a company called MNIT, which was building networking ecosystem, which is necessary when you are dealing with large models. Because to fit a large model and to train a large model, you would require a lot of different kinds of networking hardware components to connect multiple GPUs, multiple CPUs, and multiple systems with each other. Right? But advanced technologies is much faster, better. Okay? So for that, we created DPUs, NICs, switches, and also we have system on set of business as well, where basically we create embedded system. So as Padhy sir was mentioning about, you need real-time inference, you need real-time information to be done on the edge itself, right? And similarly, there can be use cases in mining, in minerals, or in edge environments, in the smart cities area, where you need embedded devices to be there, which will do video analytics, which will do all the kinds of edge processing at the edge itself to get the response. Okay, so for that we have only order SOCs, system on chip. We call that Jetson class GPUs. There are lots of different kinds of use cases. One of the example you saw, there was a self-driving car. So companies like BMW is using NVIDIA Jetson to create a self-driving car. And the car itself. So in the car itself, there is a computing device which is helping you helping a car to run autonomously. So now on top of it, on top of the hardware ecosystem, we started creating system softwares which is necessary for running the application. For example, if you want your application to talk to a GPU, you need something called as CUDA, right? Which is like a programming language for GPU to help you run it efficiently, to help you utilize each core of it efficiently. So we started with CUDA as the system software. Now on top of it, to make things run easily, effectively, and you don't have to write your code in C++ and Fortran, we started creating additional system software, and on top of it, application software divided with industry focus. Right? For example, you can see on the left side that Narayana is mentioned. So it's a framework, it's an open source framework available for those researchers or those industry folks who are interested in healthcare. So a lot of retrained models in the healthcare domain, in the medical imaging domain, or in the genomic domain are available in Clara and Monet, and you would be easily able to build and deploy on NVIDIA GPUs with much more faster accelerated rate. So same way, we have Riva, which helps you create conversational AI flows. For example, speech to text, text to speech in real time mode. So that is useful in customer services, or ma'am mentioned about use cases in courts and others. Right? So you can use speech to text and text to speech kind of a pipeline in Riva. Now on top of it, there are additional frameworks mentioned here. So I'll just stick to Metropolis now, because Metropolis is a framework which is more suitable to this particular slide, to this particular presentation. Metropolis is a stack of frameworks that we have to help you build and ecosystem use cases in video analytics domain. Right? For example, if you want to create video search and summarization, we have an example available in Metropolis. If you want to deploy a module in Edge, Metropolis will help you do the same. So I'll just show it in the later slide how it works. And this is just the expanded version of the previous slide, that how we have divided each framework for each industry, and you can use it accordingly with your needs. Also, we realized it pretty quickly that in 2012 the GPUs started booming in the AI and deep learning domain. So we started analyzing what all use cases can be built, right? And and also we started collaborating with lots of researchers in across the globe, and we found out that domains like speech recognition, video analytics are growing at a really good pace. So we started with perception AI. Now world has moved towards generative AI. From 2020 itself, you can see the boom and exploded pretty well after ChatGPT movement. So all those use cases like generating a video, generating an image, or generating text as token is classified under generative AI. Now on top of it, now we are at a agentic AI domain where tools like web search or coding assistants and stuff are coming in, right? So you can see there are many companies like Cursor, Perplexity is booming because of the agentic AI boom, right? So now we are currently at agentic AI, but later on, what will be the future? The future will be the physical AI, where you will see that self-driving cars, robots, and autonomous vehicles, autonomous pipelines will be coming into the physical domain itself, right? That will help human to in much more advanced and more physical way. So that way, NVIDIA classified again physical AI into three domains, three computing problems. The first one is to build a model, right? Because in physical AI, there will be an AI in the backend, right? There will be a model, there will be multiple of such agentic AI pipelines working together to do certain actions, right? So that's what first computing problem will solve, where basically we will create a model for a particular thing. For example, in a robot, how many types of you can say how many types of ChatGPT like will be required? There will be a lot, because a robot will see. First of all, it needs to understand images, videos. A robot will also generate certain components, certain tokens in the form of audio or text or actions. Right? So everything is a token in the domain of generative AI and agentic AI. Even the feel or touch is a token in the domain of agentic AI. So all this needs to be created as separate or a single model when you are going to create a physical AI system. Depending upon the use case to use case, obviously, but first thing is building a model, which we call as pre-training or post-training, on top of our existing or scratch model. Now, after that, once you have the models, right, you may be having a model by default available, or you may have to create from scratch, right? And there can be a scarcity of data, right, in that. So what we have done, we have created an ecosystem called as Omniverse, right? So it's like metaverse, you can say where it's a developer tool to create digital twins, right? So for example, in a car manufacturing industry, you may have to there may be lots of possibilities of optimization, right? So you may have to know at what level cars are moving and where actually where actually the manufacturing needs to be done by your workers and others, right? So what BMW has also done, they used our Omniverse tool and created a digital twin of their ecosystem, their manufacturing site, one of the manufacturing sites, and did all the types of optimization in the simulation itself first, and then they built the actual site there and found out that it was much more cost effective as well as much more intuitive to build such. The good part about Omniverse is you can integrate AI into that, you can integrate physics as well into that. So for example, dropping up item, so it will, within Omniverse you can simulate gravity itself, you can simulate chemical compositions, as well as you can simulate other physical aspects that are available with the help of our physics engine. Plus, you may need to apply AI, right? So that in the real world you can actually implement that, and that's where our last pipeline, which we call as the physical AI, the edge devices, that we have Jackson devices, which I was talking about, you can use to create a robot, and it will serve as a brain of that end pipeline. It can be a self-driving car, it can be again a robot picking up an item and dropping it some other place in a manufacturing site or in a mining area or any other place wherever you are using it. So there can be multiple use cases in the smart city space, in the manufacturing space, in the retail space. So for example, Walmart is also using this technology to create their new sites and accordingly add their and optimize their entire stores in the US. Same way, you can apply certain of the components in healthcare and hospital domains, energy and mining domains, and other industries. So now, what is agentic AI? Right? So I was just talking about, as we saw, agentic AI is nothing but a advanced version of generative AI, which helps you which can use basically data sources. It can be from sensors, it can be from web itself, it can be from tools like retrieval tools like semantic search or others. There can be multiple possibilities. Just few of them are mentioned here, which currently people are using to create their agentic AI systems, right? And that's what we realized, that it can be used in multiple different workspaces in the domain of smart spaces, energy, and retail, wherever different kinds of sensor data are getting generated, and we can make our large language model to understand that better and and use it to get certain actions, right? Instead of just getting the insights, we do apply actions on top of it. That's what we call it as agentic. Now, we done the summarizing against the entire ecosystem. So this is what our stack says, that we provide this all the green part you can see. We are there in all these spaces, and we have partnered with other organizations where all the blue part you can see will come from them, right? So for example, starting from building from the compute to network to infrastructure management software. For example, those who are like building modules, or those who are coming from HPC domain, knows Slurm and Kubernetes kind of a framework. So those also has been accelerated for GPUs, and that's what we do at this networking space and infrastructure management space. And on top of it, there are frameworks like of NVIDIA AI and NVIDIA Omniverse, which I talked about, and we are building a reference blueprints and reference examples, because we are not the service company, so we generally don't do application creation for the end customer, but we create reference application, reference workflows for someone, for an ISP or an end customer to use it. Okay. So these are few of the examples you can see of an NVIDIA Omniverse. So we evaluated this using our Cosmos transform model. So basically it's a video generation, image generation model. And we use this and created a simulated environment in NVIDIA Omniverse so that we can train a self-driving car. What kind of images you have to look, what kind of obstacles may come. You can add additional obstacles as well. For example, in India you can add a cow, you can add extra cars because there is a lot of traffic in some places. So all those things you can add within NVIDIA Omniverse itself and train a better model and use it in physical AI. physical environment. Same thing you can simulate in other areas as well. You can see. So these are some of the models and features available within Cosmos. So it's a framework for video generation and image generation which is available. You can explore that. Your engineers can go and see these models are open source available. You can just pull them, run on any of the NVIDIA GPU and start training them or start using it in your inference environment. So one in the renewable energy sector also you can use. So Siemens is also using in there. Siemens is also using Omniverse and Cosmos and as well as Metropolis in their wind generation pipeline turbines. And yeah, there are. Let me just move forward because there is a limited time allocated. So you can go to this platform build.nvidia.com whenever you have time. You will be able to find multiple NIMs and models are available for different industry. What is NIM? So it's like a microservice examples which we have optimized for certain industries. For example, if you are interested in speech to text, text to speech, we regularly create models on top of it. You can find some of the best models available there. Plus, we also partner with other organizations and we optimize their models also, so that it's not always you are seeing NVIDIA stuff, but it is optimized for the GPU inference. And same way in the domain of industries wide also it is classified. You can find out in the build.nvidia.com and start using that. Let me just cover just one more use case, which is video search and summarization. It is one of our latest use case we created with the help of Metropolis. It is very much can be useful in domain related to any of the video generation, video analytics pipeline. Here, basically, this in real time, this particular module is extracting all the information present in the frames that are passing through, and it is providing all the insights on the right. It's not just classification or detection of a human or segmentation of a human. It's also like a chat environment we are providing in real time, which is summarizing what's happening in the frame, and you can also ask questions and create alerts out of it, right? And automate and accordingly modify it to your needs. You can see it can be used in multiple different industries and domains. Here, someone is asking a question: what is happening at particular location? That's what. Even this is the frame from Jensen's keynote, and it can also be summarized with the help of same video search and summarization use case. So these are the things you can do with VSS. And this was the entire pipeline. So you can see the complexity of the entire pipeline. It is not very easy to build the entire system, which will work in an efficient and real-time manner. So here you can see on the bottom it started with the data processing steps, which is first taking the video, classifying it into frames, and then moving it further with the frame selection model, and then passing it to certain kinds of optimized models. For example, the vision language model there, where it understands images and videos, and then provides to the text insights. Those text insights are then getting transferred to a large language model to basically generate the final response based on the query asked by the user, and then that query then used to that answer is getting used to create the alert, and to then the end monitor or admin gets notified about the alert that is being passed. So it is being used by many different organizations. You can see that it's data robotic, and we are continuously working with many different organizations to get it adopted. One demo I also created by myself for VSS. This way, the same video I just uploaded. This kind of an environment we give, but obviously one can customize it for their own use cases, their own applications, and can just simply upload this, ask the provide a prompt, it will generate the summary, and that summary again can be used to ask further questions, and it can be sent to a say an alerting environment. Say in this case I just alerted it on Slack channel. You can integrate with any of the tool that you use for alerts. And also you can see it's also classifying all the different people present in the image with a different number, right? So that model will always recognize that this is the person I have to provide insights for, right? So, thank you. So this is it for this session. I'll continue with one more session in the second half. But if you have any questions, please.
Any question, please? कोई सवाल किसी की तरफ से? अगर नहीं है तो भरत जी आपका बहुत बहुत आभार, आप रुके कृपया करके स्मृति चिन्ह के लिए। और मैं आग्रह करूंगा श्री अनुज गौड़ साहब को या गिदवानी जी को, जो कि मीडिया से हैं, इस मौके पर सम्मान स्वरूप स्मृति चिन्ह प्रदान करें। गौड़ हमारे सीनियर डायरेक्टर हैं, जो उसके डेटा सेंटर को संभालते हैं। आगे से आप हमारे बीच में एक और बहुत अच्छे, एक सेकंड अनुज जी, आपने कहा था बैकग्राउंड में हमारा वीडियो डालना चाहिए, अगली बार कर दीजिएगा, ठीक है ना? थैंक यू वेरी मच भरत गिदवानी जी। हमारे बीच में एक और AI आर्किटेक्ट श्री आफ्ताब सरोदावाला जी यहाँ पर आ चुके हैं। मैं श्री मुकेश शर्मा सीनियर डायरेक्टर आप उनको पौधा भेंट करके उनका सम्मान। श्री आफ्ताब सरोदावाला। इसी श्रृंखला में हमारा जो अगला कार्यक्रम है, उन्हें हमारे स्पीकर हैं, वो हैं श्री शशांक शेखर ठाकुर। आप एक सीनियर बिजनेस कंसल्टेंट एंड डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन लीडर with 15+ years of experience during IIM, ARVR, IOPM, SPAS adoption across government and enterprise ecosystems. Having begun his career with industry giants such as Make My Trip and Amazon India, he has helped scale multiple SaaS and deep tech companies across India, the Middle East, Sea, Africa, and the US. He is currently heading the business for CoRover and driving the growth and expansion across geographies. Specializing in enterprise sales, public sector engagement, and technology-led modernization, Shashank has built a proven track record in new logo acquisition, large-scale solution development, CXO level consulting, and exploiting revenue growth across high-impact industries including BFSI, manufacturing, logistics, education, travel, retail, and e-governance. He is known for converting emerging technologies into measurable business outcomes, architecting GIM strategies, and driving citizen-centric digital transformation for AI-powered platform. We welcome Mr. Shashank Shekhar Thakur Sahib to the stage. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Good afternoon. It's really an honor to be here in front of esteemed and respected government officials and NIC. I am Shashank, Thakur, and I head the business for CoRoverAI BharatGPT. BharatGPT is again, as you would be aware, it's the first conversational platform in India that speaks our language and that understands our people. So, question दिमाग में ऐसे ही आया तो I thought of bringing it out in front of you. Whenever you go on a government portal, आप लोग generally struggle करते हो, question पूछते होगे तो answer आने में या तो loading, anything ऐसा कुछ आता रहता है. It doesn't give you the immediate response. So AI will fix all those things in a matter of seconds. So looking at all those things कि आदमी इस problem को, real problem को कैसे solve किया जाए, we created CoRoverAI. So CoRoverAI is basically, we are there in the operations in class. This is our 9th year running, and this is basically into conversational AI. When I say conversational AI, we are a Gen AI platform where we build virtual assistants, AI agents, co-pilots, and all these are in the form of chatbots, voice bots, video bots. Now when I talk about these virtual assistants, these are all real time. These are transactional. These are informational. आप कुछ भी पूछ सकते हो. You can get any advices on that basis the data what is there in the system on which it is fine-tuned. So looking at all those things, पहले के time में when we used to talk to a bot or कोई agent या कोई robot when we used to talk, तो उसके voice से we used to capture किया ये तो bot है, इसका बड़ा monotonous sound एक ही चीज monotonous tone में बात कर रहा है. So looking at all those deficiencies, we created agents and we focus on the human centricity part. So we try to make it more human centric. And when I say more human centric, when you talk to, when the agent talks to you, you should feel that you are talking to someone. So उस बंदे को भी लगे कि मैं जो बोल रहा हूँ मेरी बात कोई सुन रहा है and he is giving response based on that. So we have focused on all those things. And when you see our, so it is one of our USP. We focus on human centricity. Plus, हमारे जितने भी virtual assistants हैं, they are all multilingual. When I say multilingual, major Indian languages included हैं. They are all multi-channel. It can be on website, it can be on your WhatsApp, it can be on social media, it can be on mobile app, whatever. And third is we are also multi-format. So when I say multi-format, text, video, voice, it could be anything. So it's one of the days एक बार chat कर रहे हैं and response आ रहा है, but now it is chat with voice enabled. You also have a video avatar which can pop up on the devices and they can talk to you like a human. So we have focused on all those things. If you talk about BharatGPT, yes. So again we started with, again it is not a foundational model, but we have fine-tuned it based on Llama and all, and multiple fine-tuning has been done, and then we recently launched BharatGPT Mini also during the India AI mission when we were invited as the top 10 startups in Paris. Our team also participated there, and Dr. Jatin Prasad was there available. He inaugurated the entire thing. So that was a privilege for us. So looking at all this, and when you talk about our client base, we are well connected with the government enterprises. We ask Disha on IRCTC. I'm sure few of people of you will have definitely tried that. So it is enabled in English, Hindi, Gujarati. आप कुछ भी पूछो उससे, so it captures your intent and it provides the train details. And moving on the journey, you can book the ticket also. So I have seen many recommendations, many testimonials on that, saying that ये बहुत fast है, it hardly takes time, तुरंत हो जाता है. Even refund happens in 5 to 10 minutes. Whereas on a normal traditional method, if you go, it takes 5 to 7 minutes. So we have focused on all those things. IRCTC, LIC, in the largest insurance company of India, LIC, Ask Mitra is there. We are there in Delhi Metro, Ask Chetna is there. Again, DMRC is fluent. You can ask कि मुझे राजीव चौक से शालीमार गार्डन जाना है, कैसे जाऊँ? It will tell you the entire journey through voice and through text. And in your language, Hindi, English and Punjabi. So all those things have become very seamless. And also a couple of months back we have gone live with Bosch Global in the private space where we have given them conversational analytics. So उनका 1.5 लाख 2 लाख कॉलम का एक बड़ा सा एक्सेल शीट है डेटाबेस. We have integrated that with our BharatGPT. अब उनकी जब भी लीडरशिप रिव्यू होती है, so one of the leaders will ask कि इस डिपार्टमेंट का what is the revenue, what is the attrition level. So the voice pops up with the response along with the pie chart, donut chart, insights, suggestions, next steps क्या होगा. So that gives a very clear picture in a very short amount of time. So that is helping the leadership team of a lot of companies. Now when I come on the voice agent part, I will like to show you a small video which we have done in association with Google and WPP. WPP is the largest advertisement agency, and this was for a brand Perfetti. उसका एक चुंगम आता है Central Fruit. So I will just explain the context. So that the main campaign was focused towards the rural India rural masses of India. तो बिहार, झारखंड, यूपी, महाराष्ट्र के जितने भी गाँव हैं रूरल एरियाज, उनमें उनके पास फीचर फोन रहता है. They do not have a smartphone, so because AI electricity is a बहुत दूर की बात है. So what we did is we created a voice agent. हमारे टेलीफोन पार्टनर के थ्रू we routed that to all the numbers. और एक tongue twister, just it was just a brand awareness. तो वहाँ के लोगों से हमने tongue twister जैसा challenge किया. I will play that also. और वो चैलेंज वो कंप्लीट कर रहे हैं सक्सेसफुली. तो the Perfetti brand they were giving 100 rupees mobile recharge. So again, that was a different type of customer engagement thing. I will play that video.
भारत का दिल उसके गांव में बसता है, पर आज भी यहाँ ऐसी जगह हैं जहाँ ना कोई ऐप है, ना टीवी, ना मोबाइल डेटा. सबसे हाई टेक तो वही पुराना बटन वाला फोन है जिस पे आज भी गांव वाले मिस कॉल खेलते हैं. तो जहाँ हो इतनी लिमिटेड कनेक्टिविटी, वहाँ लोगों से हम कैसे कनेक्ट? उसका जवाब ढूंढने निकल पड़े हम 3 यार. और इंडिया में पहली बार इस डब्बे वाले फोन में भी डाल दिया जनरेटिव एआई का जुगाड़. एक ऐसी अनोखी एआई टेक्नोलॉजी बनाई जो बात कर सके गांव वालों से उनकी भाषा, उनकी बोली में, बिना इंटरनेट के. तो बस कर दी हमने ऐलान. कैसी जीभ लपलपाई प्रतियोगिता, जिसका था एक सिंपल सा फंडा. जनरेटिव एआई से टंग ट्विस्टर सुनो. पके पेड़ पर पका पपीता, पका पेड़ या पका पपीता, फिर उसे दोहराओ, इनाम जीत जाओ.
पके पेड़ पे पिंटू
पका पपीता, पके पेड़ या पके पेड़ कपड़ा, किने कपड़ा पकड़ा. हेलो. और गप्पे लगानी है तो गप्पे भी लगाओ.
So here you will also see the dialect part. When I say multilingual, हिंदी के भी बहुत सारे dialect हैं पूरे इंडिया में. हिंदी अलग-अलग accent में लोग हैं. So we have to refer to those things as well. तो यहाँ पे
भैया बात हम दोनों ने हमें तो समझ में आ रहा है.
अरे बहुत ही आसान है. हम जो चीज बोल रहे हैं उसको आप दोहरा दीजिए बस. अरे थोड़ा ही बताओ कि बारिश क्या हुए. तानसेन राग गाए के जैसन बारिश बुलाए भाई, आप जीव लपलपाए के बुलाए लियो बस. फिर क्या हजारों जीवें झूमी, हंसी छूटी और गांव कैसी जीव लपलपाई प्रतियोगिता से तो खुशियां झूमी. आइए जानते हैं कैसे हुआ ये कमाल.
कैसी जीव लपलपाई चैलेंज is a bold industry first step to a truly human and inclusive engagement to reaching the real Bharat.
At Waymaker, we believe that technology should be an equalizer and not a barrier. In collaboration with BharatGPT.ai and Google Cloud, we are using voice-led AI to bridge the digital gap.
ऐसे बना इंडिया का पहला टेलीफोनिक एआई कैंपेन जो ले गया जनरेटिव एआई को वहां तक जहां इंटरनेट भी नहीं पहुंच पाया और भारत के दिल से भी करवा दी.
So this goes on the voice agent part, which we have innovated, we have fine-tuned, and we have tried to make very human-centric. Again, the similar thing applies for the video avatars as well, but here I spoke about it. So it's very human-centric. We do it through multiple channels. Multilingual is there, all the major languages of India, and whatever data. So we work on 3 layers. I should have told that later, but let me finish that. So So there are three layers. So the first layer is classic NLP, as in the entity classification, intent extraction. So based on whatever is predefined, however you train the agent, predefined response, it will come every time in the similar fashion. The second layer is the RAG pipeline, wherein we take the knowledge base from the people, from the clients, and based on the knowledge base, again, knowledge base can be documents, it can be website link, APIs, anything. From there, it will fetch the response real time, and it will respond to the customer at that time itself. Third layer, suppose there are queries which is not there in your knowledge base. Then we put we also have a third layer as OpenAI, ChatGPT, Gemini, so that a response could be generated through that. So here, focusing on the efficiency of governance, I discussed a lot with myself yesterday, and I was able to find that there are 3 points which we must focus on. So first is the right to service, right to information. Public को awareness होना बहुत जरूरी है कि हमारे पास ये सुविधा है, ये सुविधा का क्या कैसे कर सकते हैं, इसको कैसे यूज कर सकते हैं. All those things are required. So thinking on that part, so जितने भी citizen service portals हैं, we can create a chatbot around that. People can go and ask in their language कि ये form कहाँ मिलेगा, ये service कैसे मिलेगी, how will it be eligible. So there are multiple use cases which we can think of. Plus अगर किसी चीज़ का feedback लेना है किसी process का, even we provide an analytical dashboard as well. Whether it is a chatbot, voice bot or video bot, we provide you a real-time analytical dashboard. जिससे कि you can capture the analytics, which includes sentiment analysis as well. किस language में आप बात कर रहे हो, आपका sentiment क्या है, positive है, negative है, auto detect, auto suggestion, all those features are there. Even in BMRC, आपको भी try करना सर. दिल्ली मेट्रो के वेबसाइट पे यू विल हैव आस्क चेतना. अगर आप उस पे जाके बोलते हो कि मैं आज मेट्रो में बॉम्ब डालना चाहता हूँ, तो वो कैप्चर कर लेगा बॉम्ब एंड इट विल इमीडिएटली थ्रो द रिस्पॉन्स टू द लीडरशिप ऑफ BMRC एंड इट विल कैप्चर द कि कहाँ से ये आया क्वेश्चन एंड ऑल एंड देन इट विल बी इंटरनली फंक्शन. उसको बात मत बताओ, जेल में चले जाएंगे. तो वो हम लोग वो करते हैं सर कि हम लोग उसको कैप्चर करके और ताकि कुछ भी इंटेंशन गलत है वो पता चल जाना चाहिए. वो तो तुमने प्रेडिक्ट कर दिया ना, ऐसा करें जी. तो इट कैन बी अगेन पब्लिक सेफ्टी है, क्राइम एनालिटिक्स है. इंडियन नेवी के साथ भी विद इंडियन नेवी ही उनके जितने भी शिप्स हैं, जनरेटर हैं, वो जनरली हीट हो जाते हैं 1-2 महीने के बाद और वो जाके आगे जाके डैमेज हो जाते हैं. तो वहाँ पे वी हैव क्रिएटेड सर्वर से लिंक करके प्रेडिक्टिव एनालिसिस किए हैं. जब भी हीट होने लगे इट थ्रोज अ नोटिफिकेशन ऑन द स्क्रीन. तो वहाँ जितने भी वर्कर हैं उनको पता चल जाता है कि वो गर्म हो गया, जाके जनरेटर बंद करना है. तो दोस टाइप ऑफ फीचर्स वी कैन डेफिनेटली हर सर्विस में हर जगह, वेदर इट इज IRCTC और एनी बैंकिंग इंस्टीट्यूट, यू मस्ट हैव अ पर्सनलाइज्ड असिस्टेंट. एक बड़ी चाहिए आपको, एक असिस्टेंट चाहिए जहाँ पे आप जाके यू कैन इंक्वायर अबाउट व्हाटएवर यू वांट. अब अगर जैसे एग्रीकल्चर रिलेटेड है, क्रॉप्स कैसे आगे बढ़ेगा, क्या क्या होना चाहिए, ऑल दोस थिंग्स दे कैन आस्क इन देयर लैंग्वेज, इन देयर वॉइस एंड दे कैन गेट द रिस्पॉन्स बेसिस दैट. Again, grievance redressal. This is something which we have done for district of Jammu called Sambha. So वहाँ पे this is already live. We have done e-Sevak there, and where there is it's on WhatsApp. You can say आप रास्ते में चल रहे हो और आप देखोगे कि रोड खराब है या बहुत दिन से बिजली नहीं है, कटी हुई है. So you can put your response there कि मेरे घर में 3 दिन से बिजली नहीं है. तो वो grievance आपका कैप्चर हो गया, आपको एक ID नंबर दे दिया एंड देन लेटर couple of days आप उसको ट्रैक कर सकते हो. एंड दिस grievance goes directly to the ministry. वहाँ जो भी स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के लोग देख रहे हैं उसको, they look after it and they share the response on that. So similar kind of things like e-Sevak we can do for multiple states and definitely for other schemes as well. So basically sir, BharatGPT when we talk, so when I told कि हम लोग नॉलेज बेस आपका रहेगा, डेटा आपका रहेगा, सो वी ट्राई टू मेक इट वेरी एक्यूरेट, वेरी रिस्पॉन्सिबल AI. वी ब्रिंग इन दोज टर्म्स हियर बिकॉज it will all follow all the laws, regulations. We also go through multiple audits by third party or by the client himself, and there are, and on the dashboard, on the total solution, we can give you user control also. So all that can be done. So here, यहाँ पे when we see about industry-wise education हो गया, healthcare हो गया, so there are multiple use cases which you can think of at a basic level. Even healthcare में गाँव में rural areas में you see there are many diseases. कुछ भी होता है तो लोग डर जाते हैं कि कहीं बड़ा कुछ नहीं है. So on that basic level of consulting can be done through the AI-powered chatbots based on the data which we have. And बाकी उन लोगों को लगे कि हाँ मैं अभी ठीक हूँ या मुझे ज़्यादा कंसल्टेशन की ज़रूरत है डॉक्टर से, तो they can go through and so again related to agriculture, tourism में I gave you an example IRCTC. हम लोग इस माई ट्रिप के साथ भी मेक माई ट्रिप के साथ भी कुछ कर रहे हैं. And there again वो हमारा फंडा है कि आप बात कर रहे हो and you are talking to someone for a ticket. Same time, उसी टाइम अगर आप बात कर रहे हो तो you should get all the details on your WhatsApp also. मुझे टिकट चाहिए, बंदा उधर से एजेंट बोलेगा कब की टिकट चाहिए, कहाँ जाना है, will ask lot of questions. और बात करते करते he will share lot of options on his WhatsApp. तो बंदा देख लेगा वो अच्छा चाहिए और फिर मुझे ये यहाँ जाना है, तो ठीक है मैं वेट कर रहा हूँ, आप पेमेंट करो. सिंपल पेमेंट happens and the entire conversation 5 मिनट में सारी जर्नी पूरी हो गई. So all those things can be enabled. Even for the employment part, skill development part, हमारा skill development portal मित्रा करके भी था, so you can ask about what courses would be applicable to a student age 12 years, 13 years. उसको क्या सीखना चाहिए, interest क्या है, this is that a response can be generated. So I think I am mostly done. These are all company achievements, takes and all. I happen to listen to Bharat as well. So we are also partnered with NVIDIA. We are an inception partner of NVIDIA as well. So I'm along with NVIDIA, Google, Tata, along with we are associated with them as well. And so yes, these again they have been recommended by Gartner. We have been so Ankush is the founder, CEO of BharatGPT. He was in US. And he gave me this opportunity to come here and talk in front of you. So I would be happy if I come across any questions. You can please feel free to ask, and I will be happy to answer.
से मत करना.
आवाज आ रही है तो माइक.
ये जो आपने अभी बताया कि विभिन्न विभागों के साथ आप काम कर रहे हैं उदयपुर में, मान लीजिए उदयपुर विभाग के या उदयपुर जिले के अधिकारी से आप बात करना चाहें और जो भी गवर्नमेंट आप समझते हैं सिस्टम ऐसे नहीं होता, कुछ करना है, क्या ऐसी कुछ चीजें आप सपोर्ट करते हैं जो
ऑब्वियसली सर गवर्नमेंट है तो उसके लिए जरूर हम लोग कभी ना नहीं करेंगे. गवर्नमेंट या फिर कोई भी बड़ी लार्ज इंटरप्राइज है जो कि देखना चाहती है कि हम क्या करते हैं, कैसे करते हैं, उनके हिसाब से कर पाते हैं कि नहीं, तो हम तो करते हैं. फ्री POC तो दोनों करते हैं.
होता क्या है, देखो जैसे आपने साला में किया हाँ, तो जैसे हमारे यहाँ AI के जो लोग हैं मेंबर्स हैं वो जयपुर से भी गए तो आराम से इधर तो हालांकि बहुत तेजी से बहुत सारी चीज़ों में आगे आ रहा है और हो सकता है कि यहाँ पर विभिन्न सेक्टर्स में ऑप्टिमाइजेशन जैसे नदी वगैरह है, ये जो हमारे नॉर्मल इकोलॉजिकल सिस्टम नॉर्मल सिस्टम को कैसे अफेक्ट होता है उसमें AI कुछ हेल्प कर सके. यहाँ एक भाषा में जाकर जब सीखा रहे तो हम लेके आगे बढ़े, ये बहुत जरूरी है।
मैं अपना कार्ड भी शेयर मैम से बात करती हूँ।
जो आपके सांबा में एक एक्सपीरियंस है बीजेपी मैडम को डेमोस्ट्रेट कर।
तो एक तो हाँ सर, तो ये हो गया लद्दाख में। अभी रिसेंटली हम लोग लद्दाख में भी अंकुश और पूरी टीम गई थी लद्दाख में भी, तो वहाँ पे हम लोग एक SLM बनाए हैं, भारत जीपीटी मिनी जो लॉन्च हुआ था पेरिस में, उसके बेसिस पे हम लोग स्मॉल लैंग्वेज मॉडल बनाए लद्दाख जीपीटी। तो लद्दाख जीपीटी करके हम लोग उनको बना के दिए हैं, उस पर कि आप जाके लद्दाख के बारे में कुछ भी पूछो, लद्दाख में क्या घूमने के लिए है, खाने के लिए, और वो रिस्पॉन्सेज कम्स इन योर लैंग्वेज। तो वो एक अच्छा, और वैसा हम लोग काशी जीपीटी ऐसा भी किए। सर महाकुंभ हुआ था फरवरी में, आई थिंक इट रैन फॉर 3 months, तो हमने वहाँ पे भी ONDC के साथ किया था AI महाकुंभ सहायक, और एक हेल्पलाइन नंबर जनरेट किए थे। People from all India we used to receive calls from them and they were asking about संगम घाट कहाँ है, शीत स्नान कब होगा, प्रसाद कहाँ मिल रहा है, all those type of questions। बहुत लोग रफ भी बोलते थे, तो all those things were responded and captured well।
Thank you। No question from this side, but if somebody else।
सर एक चीज
जी सर,
अभी
So main difference जो है is in the model। आपका जो भारत GPT या भारत मिनी या जो भी है, what is the difference between CoRoverAI or any other chat GPT like thing? If I change the underlying model, will there be any difference between CoRoverAI and the other model, or what's the difference?
First of all, sir, CoRover.ai is the company name। भारत जीपीटी जो हम लोग पॉपुलर है ज़्यादा भारत जीपीटी के नाम से, बट CoRover इज द कंपनी नेम। भारत जीपीटी इज आवर लार्ज लैंग्वेज मॉडल,
ठीक है,
तो उसको हम लोग नेम किए हैं भारत जीपीटी। अब बात आती है कि हाउ इट इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम चैट जीपीटी।
That's because your data is different।
हाँ, और हम लोग इंडियन यूजर्स
बहुत सही है, बहुत बढ़िया। But what's the interface to Bharat GPT? Can I put it in any?
It can be on anything। बोले हम लोग omni channel है, वेबसाइट पे है, व्हाट्सएप पे है। आप वेबसाइट हमारे नंबर है, एक वॉइस बोर्ड नंबर मैं आपको दूंगा सर, यू कैन सेव इट एज अ व्हाट्सएप। उस पे 4 ऑप्शन आएगा, ट्रांसलेट करने के लिए कुछ भी, अपलोड करने के लिए, अगर आप कोई मान लो बोर्डिंग पास अपलोड किए और आप पूछो ये फ्लाइट कब है, ये फ्लाइट का नंबर क्या है, तो बेस्ड ऑन द डॉक्यूमेंट यू कैन आस्क एनीथिंग इन योर लैंग्वेज, तो इट विल रिस्पॉन्ड। तो वो तो जस्ट डेमो के लिए हम लोग दिखाते हैं, बट आपका अगर कोई वर्कफ्लो है तो वी कैन क्रिएट दैट ऑन अ व्हाट्सएप एंड सिमिलरली यू कैन आस्क क्वेश्चन। जैसे वैक्सीनेशन JSI जॉन स्नो इंडिया दिल्ली की कंपनी है, दैट इज आल्सो लाइव ऑन व्हाट्सएप विद अस। तो कोई भी बच्चा 10 साल का उससे छोटा वैक्सीनेशन का शेड्यूल जानना चाहता है, वो बताता है मेरा डेट ऑफ बर्थ है 10/10/2014, विच ऑल वैक्सीन शुड आई टेक, वो पूरा लिस्ट बता देगा, और वो बता देगा कि आपका कौन कौन सा ड्यू है, आपने कौन कौन सा लिया है, वो API से फेच करके इट विल रिस्पॉन्ड।
So WhatsApp is one, but आपका एक chatbot interface भी होगा।
नहीं, बट हम लोग सर B2 मतलब हम लोग ओपन सोर्स अभी नहीं है,
Got it।
तो we are B2B, हम लोग सिर्फ B2B करते हैं।
So anybody can use and develop a chatbot on top of it to create a service based on Bharat GPT।
Yes, yes, yes। So even if you go on our website, you will find 100 credits there, that which you can use free of cost। तो 100 credits में आप एजेंट बनाओ, 2-4 क्वेश्चन पूछोगे, बट उसके बाद आपको फिर पे करना पड़ेगा। If you want to expand more, ज़्यादा क्वेश्चन डाल के ज़्यादा डॉक्यूमेंट अपलोड करें, तो आपको पे करके वो सब्सक्रिप्शन खरीदना होगा।
Or to use it in the university, is it available?
So we will create something around that and provide it to the campus। तो हम लोग IIM कैलकाटा के लिए भी वर्कशॉप किए, दयानंद साहब से भी हमारी बात चल रही है।
तो IIM उदयपुर अगर करना चाहे तो आपका मॉडल
बना के and we can give it to you for all the students, they can try using it, creating agents on our platform, that all things is possible।
Okay, thank you।
Excuse me? Yeah, thank you। So where is your cloud located?
So GCP is Google Cloud, which is in India, and that is why we emphasize on sovereignty more, sovereign LLM, because every data will be stored in India only. But we are also agnostic to Azure and AWS. Bosch Global, they had Azure, and they asked us to do on-premise. So we did on-premise for them with data stored on.
Google Cloud, as it is for storing data, she's talking about your LLM instance, where it is running from. This LLM which is running behind the conversation.
This BharatGPT, I mean, we use GPUs from NVIDIA also.
नहीं NVIDIA की GPUs मैंने आपका अपना डेटा सेंटर है?
नहीं.
Where from?
From different cloud providers.
Well, Google and all that. तो Google का AI इंजन, हाँ Google का AI इंजन इंडिया में है? Google का LLM इंस्टेंस का AI इंजन इंडिया में है?
ये मैम
देखना पड़ेगा।
मतलब मैं टेक्निकली उतना मैं भी नहीं हूँ।
I am also not very sure. Is setting up, right? Yeah. And you can facilitate it on national AI mission empowerment vendors, right? That can be done for government clouds.
सर ऐसी कोई एप्लीकेशन आप यहाँ हमें बता सकते हैं जो हमारे स्टेट में यहाँ राजस्थान में इम्प्लीमेंट हुई आप
राजस्थान में
इम्प्लीमेंटेशन आपने किया BharatGPT के थ्रू?
नहीं सर, राजस्थान में तो नहीं सर कुछ। राजस्थान में सर, बट राजस्थान में आपको बता रहा हूँ सेबी के वेबसाइट पे आप जाइए, स्टॉक एक्सचेंज।
ऐसी कोई आपकी बात चल रही है जो राजस्थान में इम्प्लीमेंटेशन हो, सो दैट वी कैन सी।
जैसे अभी आपने बॉम्ब का केस जैसे अभी आपने बॉम्ब का केस ऐसे दिल्ली में आजकल बहुत फेक ईमेल्स आ रहे हैं स्कूल्स को। नहीं लगे इसके लिए क्या कोई सॉल्यूशन है कि उस मेल को या मैसेज को चेक कर लें वेदर इट इज जेन्युइन और फेक?
जेन्युइन और फेक नहीं, ऑलमोस्ट उसका वो पता कर लेते हैं कि कहाँ से आईपी एड्रेस और ये कहाँ से मैसेज आया एंड देन दे विल वैलिडेट फ्रॉम बिहाइंड की इतना सही है हाउ टू से, बिकॉज़ ये मार्सी पे जब जाओगे और आप कुछ भी वैसा प्लस वर्ड बोलोगे कुछ भी तो इट विल कैप्चर एंड इट विल थ्रो द रेड फ्लैग अलर्ट टू द रिलेशन।
मैं यूनिवर्सिटी की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, कोई भी एक जनरल स्कूल है जैसे स्कूल मेल आ रहा है उसको तो वो पूरा का पूरा क्योस जनरेट हो जा रहा है, तो उसको बचने के लिए कोई सॉल्यूशन कि वो कोई एक प्लेटफॉर्म हो, वैसे तो गवर्नमेंट उस पर वर्क कर रही है बट आपका इससे
बट ऐसा नहीं सर, ऐसा तो अभी नहीं है कुछ वैसा कि मेल कहाँ से आया और उतना एनालिसिस नहीं है।
Any other question?
Sir, everyone talk about the AI advantage. What is the disadvantage of the AI?
अगर आप डिसएडवांटेज की बात करें सर, मैं पर्सनल लेवल पे आई विल आंसर दिस। लोगों की सोचने की जो क्षमता होती है वो कम होती है। अब कुछ भी हम लोग, मैं आपसे बात बता रहा हूँ या जनरली स्कूल के बच्चों के बारे में भी, अगर आप मेल लिखना है, लंबा चौड़ा मेल लिखना है, यू गो ऑन चैट जीपीटी, यू गिव अ प्रॉम्प्ट कि मुझे ऐसे रिप्लाई करना है, ऐसे कर दो, बन के आ जाएगा। यू गो थ्रू इट एंड यू सेंड इट, बहुत अच्छा इंग्लिश, बहुत अच्छे वर्ड्स, ठीक है, दैट इज फाइन, बट आपका दिमाग उतना नहीं सोचा ना। अगर आप सोचते तो यू वुड हैव थॉट इन अ डिफरेंट वे, यू वुड हैव यूज्ड बेटर वर्ड्स। तो वहाँ पे लगता है इवन बच्चे आजकल, माय सन इज इन क्लास 6, तो कुछ अटपटा क्वेश्चन आता है उसको स्कूल से टफ जैसा, मतलब उस तुरंत मोबाइल लेके मेरा वो चैट जीपीटी पे डाल देगा एंड ही विल कॉपी पेस्ट दैट आंसर। So why don't you go in the book and learn about it and then pretend it from yourself? हम लोग तो कभी ऐसा नहीं किया हमारे ज़माने, हम लोग बुक में ढूंढते थे सारा। तो all those things एडवांटेज भी है, तो जहाँ तक आप उसका हेल्प ले सकते हो that is good, but उसको मिसयूज मत करो, उसको डिपेंडेंसी मत लाओ।
One more question. My question is about the accuracy of the data and how the data is generating and what type of accuracy you have claimed. Round figure, if you can provide 70%, 80%. You just give an example that if I upload the boarding pass and you will give the detail of the live, whether it is on live based data or it is upon the knowledge you have acquired from the various sources. Thank you.
So the data, whenever we say knowledge acquired from other sources, that is one part. But जैसे LIC, मैं LIC का एग्जांपल देता हूँ। LIC पे आप जाओगे, आस्क मित्रा है, और आप पूछोगे कि मुझे जीवन लाभ पॉलिसी के बारे में बताएं, तो एक पूरा PDF आ जाएगा जीवन लाभ का, वो पॉलिसी के बारे में। तो वो कहाँ से आया? क्योंकि ये लोग हमें LIC वाले पूरा हम लोग को एक्सेस दिए हुए हैं, इंडिया एक्सेस वेबसाइट का पूरा हम लोग स्क्रैप करके उनका सारा पॉलिसीज का इंफॉर्मेशन हमारे पास है। तो जब उनका सारा इंफॉर्मेशन हमारे पास है और रिस्पॉन्स इसी के थ्रू आ रहा है, तो हम लोग एक्यूरेसी को नॉट लेस देन 90% क्लेम करते हैं। थोड़ा बहुत शुरू में आप जब बनाते हैं तो हेलुसिनेशन होता है इनिशियली, फर्स्ट कट में, सेकंड कट में, बट as and when you still fine tune it, third, fourth layer में it comes up perfect. Yes.
Sir, I have got one or two questions, sir. Since you are from a business science, you are not a core AI person. I would like to know people who have done a basic course in AI, and then done further specialization in management. What are the career options available for them in the industry?
Yeah. So AI is the top of the town nowadays. हर जगह आप सुन रहे हैं AI. So people, but still अभी भी आप 9th, 10th या 11th, 12th के बच्चों से पूछोगे, मतलब जो tier 2 या tier 3 cities, they are not much aware. अभी वो लोग सोचते हैं सिर्फ चैटबॉट है, काम आसान कर देता है. So those type of thinking is there, but in depth they do not have any knowledge. अब इसको जोड़ते हैं मैनेजमेंट के साथ. मैनेजमेंट के साथ जब आप पढ़ते हो तो when you do your MBA, you do your masters, you get to know a lot of things. Public speaking है, आप team building करते हो, you create new product, how to manage the stakeholders, all those things in addition with AI. और AI का use लेके how to get the things done in an effective way, that part can be very much helpful if we use AI in a proper way. अगर AI का use लेके और management problems हम लोग solve करें, real time problem solve करें, case study solve करें, I think that is the proper way to maybe excel in their career. हमारे समय में AI नहीं था when we were doing masters and all, but now it has come. One of my niece, nephew, they are all doing computer science in the specialization of artificial intelligence and also they are learning more at this age only.
So, any other question? आप में से किसी का कोई सवाल हो तो बताइए, क्योंकि हम लोग धीरे-धीरे इस सेशन के अंत तक पहुंच चुके हैं और उसके बाद अगले सेशन में भी भरत जी वापस आएंगे और हमारे आफ्ताब वाला जी भी अपना वक्तव्य देंगे। और बिफोर वी लीव चलते साहब से आग्रह करूँगा कि वो मोमेंटर को थोड़ा तक लेके आते हैं। भरत जी, मैं आपसे जानना चाह रहा था कि जीपीयूज का सेटअप हुआ है 18,000 कुछ स्वदेशी जीपीयूज होंगे, 100 रुपए पर आवर की स्पीड मिलेगी कंप्यूटिंग की, बहुत ही उच्च गति की। उसमें कितनी प्रगति हुई है और हम लोग अब तक कितना एकेडमिया को या रिसर्च को या स्टूडेंट कम्युनिटी को वो इनका दे पाए।
So, गवर्नमेंट ने एक पोर्टल भी बनाया है, आप वहाँ पे देख सकते हैं, आज भी शेयर ऑल्सो सब शेयर कर सकते हैं, बट वहाँ पे आप देखेंगे कि स्टार्टिंग विद CoRoverAI and CoRoverAI also partnered with many universities like IIM, IIM, and other, and we have got the infrastructure now approved. Currently, they have got it on cloud partners like and others, and few of them are also building up. Like for example, many state governments have also applied and they have got it. For example, Karnataka government have got a good amount of infrastructure for their face verification and chatbot use cases. Plus, their Maharashtra government and others are building up. So I would say it is moving pretty fast. I can see the future is right for
pretty fast is good. How much time? By what time we can expect the computing facility to start in the country?
So it is already started. So many of the and startups as well as the state government has got the infrastructure. Some are in progress because of the back-end operation issues, but it should be utilized fully. So good around 30 to 50% have been already started.
Thank you very much. और मैं इस मौके पर श्री शशांक ठाकुर साहब को धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ कि आप आए, आपने बहुत अच्छी अच्छी बातें बनाई, आप प्लीज स्टेज में आए हमारी तरफ से। और श्री सोमनाथ कुमावत जी स्टेज पे आके शशांक ठाकुर साहब को स्मृति चिन्ह प्रदान करें हमारे एज अ टोकन ऑफ आवर ग्रेटिट्यूड। इसके साथ ही we have come to the end of the second session. Our next session starts at 2:45 and we are breaking for lunch. Please enjoy the lunch and come back. Thank you.